Yeah, man, it's a trip. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just jump right up in this thing.
All right, for
We
sure.
ain't do no crazy intros. What's up with my man Korbin, though?
What's up, bro?
What's going on? What's going on beneath your ink?
Man, not much, man. Just trying to stay above water. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
we done
saying?
talked
Yeah.
about so much already. Shit.
Yeah, we did.
That's why I was like, man, we gotta turn this camera on. We giving all
Yeah.
the giving all the juice away already.
I know, right?
This tea's over here fire.
Fire.
So what's been going on, man?
You know, I really been focusing on, the kids, and myself, like trying to really better understand like the decisions that I made from my past.
It's creeping
And
up or what?
well, like I wouldn't necessarily say creeping up, but I lived a lot of life in the moment type. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of
Yeah.
just did things without thinking about it and the repercussions that come with certain things. So as I'm getting older and as I'm teaching my kids, they starting to say and do things that either resonated with me in a positive or negative manner, or they do things that's completely opposite. And I'm like, damn, I wish I thought like that when I was younger. You know what I'm saying?
So tell to some people that don't know, how many kids you got?
Man, I got a bunch, man. I got three.
Three.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got
and you
three.
started at what age? Because you started pretty young, right?
Yeah, I had my first kid at 22. Yeah.
Oh, that ain't too shit. I was 21.
Man,
I mean,
hey, right, yeah,
but it's
right
young
there.
enough for
Yeah,
sure, though, bro.
yeah, it was,
that shit make you grow up, man.
bro, real quick. So, but yeah, so trying to really hone in with my young ones and kind of help them navigate through difficult situations. As well as I'm learning. I'm learning with them.
Yeah.
Because there's certain situations I never had to experience that they get to go through, because of how I was raised, so it's just kind of like, all right, cool. Like we both living life, experiencing life at the same time together. But yeah, man. So
especially with the little girls.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
How are your daughters right now? Like,
So
how's your relationship with your
I just got the one, but
that's right.
the oldest, she'll be 10 this year.
Oh, okay.
10 this year, but bro, like she already, like my brother was over at the house. The kids was playing, but she already want to be by the adults.
Yeah.
Staring all in the face. You know what I'm saying? Looking all of us, all in our mouths, all in the conversation. I'm like, Brooklyn, back up. Like, like go play or something. Like, she transitioning.
Soaking up everything.
Yeah, she transitioning from that, like, I like coloring and dolls to like, I want to know what's going on just because I want to know. Yeah,
I'm trying to be all in the business, all in the cheese mode. Yeah,
man,
that's hella funny.
Yeah.
So, a reason I ask is, mine's 10 too. My daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I don't know what it is right now. It's the same. It's like, I feel like my little girl is like that shit. Ship is sailed, bro. Like she don't act like no kid no more.
No,
I don't know what it is, man. That's why I asked you, like, what's your relationship like? Because it's like, I don't know what happened, bro. But I get a hell of a time, like, getting her to come over. Like, let's go to the movies or something. She be like, I don't want, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn. So it's it's funny, but it ain't, bro. Actually, like, kind of sad, bro.
Yeah, get your feelings hurt, bro.
Boy, that girl break my heart every time I see her.
Yeah, bro. Them daughters will cut your heart deep, man. Like, it's something about that transition. It's almost like, bro, do you not think your dad's cool no more? Like, you don't love me, bro? Like, come kick it with me.
It's tough. It's tough. So your daughter gives you a little bit of that too?
It was a lot more when she was younger though, because she was always like wanting to be with her moms and all that stuff. Like, check on her mom, make sure her mom was good. She knew dad was good, but always wanted to make sure that moms was straight. So I kind of have to sometimes pull her aside and be like, hey, Brooke, like, I love and miss you too. Like, this is my time with you. Like, I get it. I understand. I know you want to call your mom when you with me and stuff, and it's cool. Like, I'm never going to stop her from doing that. But I just have to remind her, like, Brooklyn, when you here, like, I just need you to kind of lock in. Like,
same shit,
it's like, hey, look, we in the middle at the park. We in the middle of doing something. We playing. Like, we can call your mom at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like, hey, like, just
so
it's
she
a
was
balance.
Definitely like worried about her mom, like very attached to her mom.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. See, mine is like, I don't know. Well, she's super attached to her grandparents for sure
Yeah.
because she sees them a lot. But yeah, it's trying to think if she. I don't know what it is, bro. And it's been
Yeah.
like kind of recent. I think I would say within the last year, she's really gotten. And it's they're coming up on that age and
Yeah.
hormones and shit like that, stuff like that. To where I just kind of chalked it up to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did. I haven't had a few times like, damn, girl. What I did was, so when I know, because we do like the co-parent stuff too, right? Like yours. And for a long time, I was like, man, y'all my kids too. I want to make sure you ain't gonna. I didn't want nobody saying, oh, you ain't handling your business or nothing like that. So I'm like, no, I want to have them this many hours, days, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was I feel like I was coming from it from like a forceful,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
y'all my kids, y'all gonna be here and do this and that.
Yeah.
But like, that wasn't necessarily conducive to nothing either. I was just like, this ain't the way to do it. So now I was like, well, I ain't gonna force you. So then it's like I was like, let me kick back and not nobody want to force, don't want to be forced to hang out, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, let me just, hey, babe, like, you want to come do this, come over here, that. And then she's like, I'm kind of doing this already. I was like, all right, cool. It's all good. I want to force you.
Yeah.
But it's like the more I've kind of just been cool, the more she on me.
Yeah, the more they take advantage of it, right? Yeah.
So I'm just like, damn, I don't know if this was the right thing. Because now I'm like, bro, I just want to see, what do you look like now, bro?
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? But
and she your twin too,
it's
bro.
Funny, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm hoping it's just a phase. You feel me?
Yeah,
like
I think
when she
it
get
is.
a little older, but. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you since they were the same age.
No, I definitely feel like it's a phase. With my daughter, she had to grow up a lot quicker than most. So I know for a fact there are certain things she was able to understand a lot quicker to where it's like, all right, like, just to be a little transparent with you, like when she comes to my house, she sleeps like a log. That girl sleeps like, like you just had a long ass week. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, all right, whatever you dealing with kind of stressed you out, whatever, yada, yada. She want to chill. Even today when before I dropped her off, Dad, can I stay with you this summer? Like, I never thought I'd hear her say that. Like, especially like what happened at her mom's, like the last couple months of her trying to kind of being a little iffy. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I was just glad you stopped asking to call her so much. And now you talking about you want to stay for the summer. Like, it's good. Like, I love it when you with me.
Yeah. Ain't that a trip? Like, if only they knew how, like, juice we was, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you said before, like, there ain't too many people that I'm like really tripping off of their opinion like that. But it'd be a little 10-year-old girl that could say one thing and have me ready to start crying and shit.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Fuck your whole day up.
Like, they only knew like the power they had. They probably do. You feel me? Honestly, at the end of the day, but like, I don't know. I just never thought that was I never thought about that. I didn't think that was gonna be a thing, bro. But like these kids, my son too, bro. Like little things, like if they not feeling away and something wrong with them, like even if I don't show it, like that shit really affected me. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's hard to. I think that's the hard thing about kids is like people think kids is like financial. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this and that. I'm not even tripping off that part. It's more you have these two people that like are in the world and you really care. You almost care too much. I feel like I care too much sometimes to where it's like anything around them is like the expectations are higher, the feelings or emotions are greater, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's been at least for me, that's been the trickiest part for me. You know
Definitely.
what I mean? Dealing with that shit.
Yeah, and I agree with you wholeheartedly because like my children, that's like, and I'm pretty sure our parents feel like this about us too. It's like, you have a direct connection to this person. Like, this is my blood.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain things they gonna say and do without you even having to show them an example of it, and they gonna do it just like you or say it just like you. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, man, like, you really a little me out here. Like, and I want to make sure you straight. I want to make sure that you got everything that I didn't have. But I also want to make sure, to be balanced. That was my biggest thing. Like when it came to just how you mentioned, like with your daughter, and also with our sons too. Like, cause even my oldest son, he used to cry every time.
How old is he now?
He is 5.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be 6. So he used to just cry every time I pick him up. I'm like, bro, what's up? Like, this
Yeah.
was you like. You wasn't even really around like that when like me and your mom was together. So it's like, why are you tripping? Like you used to this, and he kind of, like wasn't really able to articulate it. But I would say like I I even talked to my daughter about this. Here's the crazy part. You know what they say, like kids say the truth, like, and it's undoctored, like, there's no type of manipulation. So when my daughter, I asked her, I'm like, yo, so what's up with Khalil? Like what's going on with him? Like how come he have attitude? Like he too young to be feeling like this. I don't do nothing wrong to him.
Yeah.
And she was like, you need to play with him more. And it's just like, and I'm like, yo, I do play with him. She was like, nah, but not with the things he wants to do. And I'm like, he likes football. I take him outside, play football with him. She was like, no, but like he likes Dragon Ball Z now. He wants you to color with him. He wants you, to really sit down and which sounds super simple. And it's like, yeah, duh, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like when you think you're already doing it or you think you have that base covered, you really kind of don't look at it in detail. You're like, oh yeah, I've been doing that. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, you probably just barely scratching the surface of how deep they trying to go in that one aspect.
And it's hard to like looking back, like in retrospect, yeah, okay, oh yeah, I could have colored more, this and that.
Yeah.
But when you in it, when you got bills, when you like hurrying trying to pick them up because you got to make it back to this and make dinner and all that.
Yep.
You ain't. I'll be honest, I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
How long did I cut? Did I make sure I colored with them? Did I make sure I did this? You are, and this is to get on the whole co-parenting thing.
Yeah.
This is why I tell cats like that are bringing up kids or are moving in a way where they could potentially have a kid with somebody.
Yeah.
I always tell them, like, for one, really think about who you having these kids with, bro, because this co-parenting shit is for the birds, bro.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck with nobody.
Ass.
Oh, we healthy co-parent?
Nah.
Fuck all that. This is the most non-efficient way to go through life, bro, with the kid, because what happens in my, just what I've seen and in my experience and all that is like, even situations like that, when you're expected to color with them and play with them and all that, when you're separated from someone, you're automatically a single parent. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so now you are required to, like, in that situation, like, go pick him up. He wants, he want to Dragon Ball Z, do this and this, but also you gotta like make sure dinner's ready. You gotta make sure their clothes is clean. You're doing all of this shit that really two people. It's being hard for two people to do.
Exactly.
But now since you're not with that person no more, and you guys have separated with that union or whatever, it's just not efficient, bro.
At all.
It's like I thought I was gonna be like. It was gonna be smoother, you know what I mean? There wasn't gonna be no like, okay, we're not gonna be fighting and all that. We'll be doing our own thing, but we're doing what's best for the kids and that.
Nah.
But man, that shit it's like you're doing twice the amount of work, you know?
Yeah, just like how you said, when you separate from somebody, you are a single parent. You are a single parent trying to do the job of two people. You trying to play mom and dad, and fathers can never be mothers, and mothers can never be fathers.
Yep.
So it's like you automatically you're showing your kid an imbalanced parenting style, one thing about these kids, bro, they will tell you about yourself. So either they'll tell it or they'll show it, and like I mentioned earlier, like I've really been working on myself. So when I asked my daughter, like, hey, what are things that I can do to better connect with him? I've also asked her that. So that's why, like, it was so easy for me to have that conversation with her, because a lot of parents will not ask their kids. I know I didn't grow up like that.
We don't. That's very progressive of you.
Yeah, thank you. We didn't get talked to like that. Like, they're not asking us to sit us down. Like, hey, like, what can we do to better make this relationship work, make this better? Because we stuck with each other. And being open-minded to your own faults and mistakes will make life so much easier. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. Before I even got here, like, me and one of my baby mamas got into it because co-parenting, like you said, one of the most efficient things you can do with raising a kid, but we gotta do it. And we had an agreement, and not only did she back out on it, she wasn't gonna say nothing about it. So one of the, especially with somebody like me, I got multiple children with multiple people. So
I don't know how you doing, bro.
yeah, man, hey, it's hard.
Shit,
But
you get an award just for that. And just being and just staying in the game, even if you ain't doing good, if just staying in the game, you get more some kudos for that
Hey,
shit.
thank you, bro. Cause when somebody like when one thing's bad, it's all bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my point I was getting at was when you have people in your life that mean something to you, there are certain things you have to tolerate. So it's like, hey, look, like I know we didn't work out, but we got this child, and it's easier if we stay on the same page to make things smoother for me and you. So when you do things that could irritate the situation, how do we handle it? And that's one thing I try to help my kids understand. Like my son, when I dropped off my son and my daughter before I came here, and my son was asleep and my daughter was up, so she heard the whole conversation I had with one of the baby mamas. And I always make sure, just because we have a disagreement doesn't mean I have to talk down on you, doesn't mean I have to call you out your name, it doesn't mean that we have to be disrespectful. It's like, hey, like I should be able to communicate how the situation or what you did made me feel. And it's like, hey, like, look, this is what we agreed upon. Why did you feel the need not to do this? Like I'm me just telling my daughter, because like she was ear hustling all them grown folks' business.
Was you like, oh shit, I'm about to show her how to handle this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I definitely was. Because unfortunately, there's certain conversations you need to have in person. Worst case, over the phone, but we never having conversation through text. It's about something serious. Bro, no, we have to have the dialogue, because I don't need you to misunderstand what I'm trying to say. So when I was talking to her, I let her know, like, okay, blah, 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 going forward, let's do this, let's do that. Like, I don't like not trusting you when you say you're going to do something and not do it. I let her know how it made me feel. And like, I'm letting her know, like, okay, at the end of the day, I know we not together no more. I know we have to work things out, but let's be respectable of each other's time. And then when I made sure to talk to my daughter about it, because she was all looking at me through the rearview mirror and stuff, I'm like, Brooklyn, like, look, you didn't hear me yelling, you didn't hear me cussing, I didn't call her name. Like, you have to be able to put your emotions to the side. Like, yeah, I'm still upset about what happened, and I didn't tell her what the situation was. She don't need to know all that much detail. But I just remind her, like, when you have issues with people that you love or people that you have to deal with, there's always a way to handle it. And, always make sure, like, when you make a decision, you know what I'm saying? Like, your emotions play a part, but your logic also plays a part. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's a lot of masculine, feminine, all that stuff, conversation. But we have both for a reason. Men and women have logic and emotions. We are supposed to use both of those. So I just let my daughter be aware, like, look, like, it's okay to feel those emotions, and it's okay to validate those emotions. But when a person doesn't want to acknowledge your emotions, what do you do then? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, don't sit in your feelings. It's like, make that decision. Okay, I told you how I felt. It's, obviously we can't have this conversation. I don't know if I could be friends with you no more. You know what I'm saying? And, my daughter, she's getting it, so.
That's really good, bro.
She's getting it.
That you even, like, explain it to them and kind of break it down, because I feel like, very progressive, right? Because like a lot of us didn't have that kind of stuff. But I feel like the more you have those skills, especially as a young kid, you growing up, and when you start dating, you start carrying yourself certain ways to where you almost are gonna, like, weed out a lot of the people that are gonna give you problems just by moving that way. You know what I mean? She get a little boyfriend or something, and she's trying to, they go through something, and she's trying to talk in a manner like that, and he's flying off the handle or whatever. She's gonna be able to step back and be like, okay, I explain my emotions. I'm trying to talk to him regular. He acting crazy and ignorant, all this shit. He's probably not for me. I'm gonna have to exit this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's to me, I can't even tell you how powerful that is, because the opposite of that, like the people that the young men and women or kids or whatever that aren't getting those examples and seeing the fighting and shit, what happens is that's normal. They normalize that shit. I can't stand that shit. That's just what couples do. Not everybody's perfect. sometimes you gotta go through this, go through that.
Because you love them, you deal with it.
Yeah.
Bro.
That shit is it just normalizes all this
Reinforces
these
all the
toxic
negative.
shit.
Yeah, the negative behavior.
Yep.
It's like, where's the peace? Where's the tranquility? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like you supposed to, you with that girl, you with that man. Why? Because he offers stability.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about other extra bullshit.
Yeah.
Why are you with her? Because she brings peace.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you come home, you arguing. Like, you know what I'm saying? If y'all
Bro.
ain't doing that for each other, what are you doing?
Bro, bro, this is crazy. You brought that up because, like, I ask myself that all the time, bro. I've been single for 10 plus years, bro, because I'm still trying to. Those are the questions that cross my mind. Like, what is this person gonna give me or add to my life, and vice versa? Like, it's really more so vice versa. It's more on me because it's like, what do I have to give this person? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because a lot of people, to get on some dating shit, like a lot of people I feel like be dating, and they not necessarily should be doing that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because, but bro, I don't know if my brain, I'm just gotten so like calculative or whatever of like the output or input of energy or whatever. But like in my life, if I'm not like hitting these certain, I guess you could call them quotas or whatever, as far as like financially how I'm doing, you know, if I have like certain projects or like maybe my kids' relationship, maybe I'm working on that or something, I only can put my energy in so many different things. You know what I mean? So when I see people that like, whatever, their finances is crazy, maybe their health is out of control, this other thing is off, but they over here on a dating app swiping trying to see what's going on Friday night. I just don't see how I can't line that up to where like justify that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I just think, I think a lot of people don't, I know a lot of people don't think that way, but that's also the thinking that gets you into situations where like you ain't even got your foundation solid within yourself, but here you are signing up and letting this other person thinking you got some shit to give them. You know what I mean? And that other person doing the same shit. So we all just like walking around here trying to figure shit out, hella half-assed, but then we want to lock on to somebody else. And I'm sure in some situations, very few, but they probably do get together and like maybe balance each other out and and help each other work through it, and they like progress together. But a lot of time, I think that's almost kind of like some wishful thinking shit, like some movie shit or something.
Man, it's a lot of wishful thinking out here, dude. Like, just like how you said. So, circle back to what you said about people not having foundation and like, hey, I don't know if you should be dating. And I feel like, and I hate saying I feel a lot because I like to be more logical. But it's some in me that feels a certain kind of way. When you said that, it definitely hit home because when you do so much work on yourself, it don't even take long for you to start seeing through other people's bullshit. And I'm not even talking about like, because then there's going to be certain people going to word things a certain way or go about things in a certain way that just naturally you would not do and be like, I don't know about this person. Like, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like, these are people that could have been your boys. And then they start doing shit or saying shit. It could have been the norm, but since you've been working on yourself, you're looking at it different. Like, bro, why you do that if you say you wanted this? You know, it's kind of like that whole manifesting thing, right? You say you want peace. You say you want a good relationship. You say you want a family. But what are you doing about that? You ain't putting yourself in a better situation financially. You ain't putting yourself in a better situation to find people to date that are looking for the same thing as you. It's kind of like, dude, you really gonna go to the club and get something pregnant at the club or get knocked up by somebody you met at the club and think that, oh, you gonna change and not go do this and do that and all the things that was cool because you was single and we was just kicking it or whatever. But now everything's gonna change now because I'm pregnant with your baby, or because, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, because you pregnant, like you gonna slow down your role. Like, nah, bro. Y'all, like what you asking for and what you doing is not aligning, and I feel like that's what you peep a lot. Like,
bro. That's what you peep. The proof is in the pudding, bro.
Exactly.
Like, people. I mean, you know, and I'm guilty of some of that shit too. Just like saying certain things, but then probably doing different activities that ain't coinciding with that. But it's like
that's growing.
We have to be able to. For one, I'm hyper aware of it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I know sometimes when I do certain things, I know going into it, I ain't shit. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
not
You're
me
right.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to find, whatever. If I say from hypothetically, I want a good girl, whatever, to settle
Yeah.
down with. But then I'm doing some whatever hood rat shit or something.
Exactly.
I know I'm very conscious of my hood rat shit that I'm doing. I'm not
Yeah.
expecting, to find, whatever. But
Yeah.
I think there is a degree like of people or a certain amount of people that they say they want X, Y, and Z.
And they don't understand why it don't
They don't
pan out that way.
understand why they're
Yeah.
not getting it. They don't understand what they need to do to get that. They're just
Yeah.
like, I want this, but I'm so used to and I'm so programmed to doing this and this.
Yeah.
And then you start, I don't know what, you just assume that it's going to happen, or
Yeah.
if it's meant to be, it's going to be. And that meant to be shit, I got to love hate with that, because there's some truth to that, because I think there's some shit that I can't even explain. I'm like, bro, I don't know how this shit happened, but it led to this and led to that, and it was a great thing. But for the most part, I do think we have a little bit more, I could say, like, just a little bit more control over like what the outcomes and shit is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Based on
like,
how we moving.
Dude, like, we have to be intentional about not only what we want, but what we want the outcome to be. And I definitely get what you're saying about that. Oh, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And all this like daydreaming, potential, you're looking so far into the future, you failing to see what's right in front of you. And what's right in front of you isn't matching up to what you think is gonna be. So it's kind of it's like you playing with yourself, but you get mad at the other person for not
showing up how you wanted them to.
And it's like you did this to yourself. Like, it's like, and I'm gonna just be candid here, right? Like, and the best way I could explain is because just like how you say, like, I used to be on that same bullshit too, like on some wild shit. Like, I would get these girls and tell them exactly what it is. Like, bro, look, like, this is where I'm at. I ain't trying to have no kid with you. I'm just trying to kick it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I fuck with you, but I don't fuck with you like that. And I'll let it be known. And then she would be like, okay, yeah, it's cool, it's good, it's good, it's good. But now, okay, she all in her feelings. And now I'm pissed off because she annoying me. And I could easily sit here and be like, nah, she tripping. Like, I just asked her for a pussy. I didn't ask her for her heart. You know what I'm saying? Which is true. Like, it's true. It's validated, right? But at the same time, it's like, as a man, I know what I'm doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you cannot enter a woman's body and expect a piece of her to not to come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's attached to you now. So
that's so real, bro. And it's because I'm trying to like move pretty much the same way. And it's funny to hear the reactions of it, because then it's like somebody might hear somebody saying that to somebody like, oh man, she
played me, she played me,
or he ain't whatever, he ain't getting no pussy now. He done told her some shit she don't hear. But women, I don't care what nobody say. I know this firsthand. Women appreciate that honesty.
They do.
It's like it's so, it like sets you apart from all this bullshit and run a game on them that you actually, it's almost like an aphrodisiac just stating those facts like that, to where even though you're doing it to be like, kind of calm the feelings down, hey, let's just enjoy the moment, like it's not going nowhere, just don't get your hopes up. Even by keeping it that 100 with them, it almost even more brings that out there.
It heightens it.
So it's like, fuck. And then the cool part is, you do it so much that you even know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So you almost like, I'm trying to like not get their hopes up or not getting invested or whatever. But deep down, I know damn well it's making them get even more invested.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But it's I went through that too, where I'm just like, and then it gets to be too much. It's like a lot of then you feel like you're playing with their emotions, and then you're like, I don't even want to do this.
And then you start making decisions. You start being like, all right, I'm not gonna text her today. And then this little attitude. Hey, what you got an attitude for? Get back to whatever you all was doing, and then it fizzles out. Then you come back. It's just a whole cycle to it, and it's crazy too, because like I feel like you had a better situation than me with women that you would do that with, because like, man, I was playing in a gutter. Like, I was playing in a gutter, bro. So
playing with fire too,
man,
you playing those games with women that you like for sure know ain't.
You don't want nothing with. Like,
That's how, man.
It's one of them ones where it's like, yo, I know I don't see nothing with you, but I just want some coochie right quick. So it's like, you know, me being a young dude, like, I'm not knowing no better. And I grew up different than most people. Like, I didn't have a big brother to tell me shit. My dad, he built way different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want no uncles, no big cousins. It's like, it was literally, I'm listening to shit that my niggas is telling me. And they, you know, like, you taking advice from little
the same shit,
bro. Well, we all fucking each other's lives off.
Yeah.
But what the difference that they had is they had older folks who tell them like, nah, youngster, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
So they won't do it. But I'm over here doing it, like you know, because I ain't got nobody else to direct me. Which I'm not blaming nobody, but yeah. So it's like it's like also a caliber of women. Like this is what I had to realize after. Like I would say I was like 25, 26 was when I realized like, okay, my caliber of women, I was able to make a comparison and see my taste has changed.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Talk
okay.
about that a little bit.
Man.
When your taste of women changed.
Bro, I would definitely say, I really would say it changed immediately after I had my first kid, honestly.
Walk your game up.
Bro, because yeah, man, like I never wanted to do that again with that type of individual. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it disturbed me so much on how somebody's so willing to throw their life away and thinking that you want them. You know what I'm saying? After I kept it 100 with you and I told you what it was, and you are willing to fuck up both our shits, like, yeah, but that's a different story. But I was able to see the type of women was different, the caliber of women was different when I really took a step back. When I realized that I wasn't having the same problems I was having anymore. Like I was able to do exactly what you're talking about. I'm able to be honest with you, and it's not no drawn out weird ass conversation. No, like you know, like if we seen each other in public, it's not no weird things. Oh, what's up? Like okay, hey, tap in later. Like you know, shit like that. So where I'm like, damn, like I'm almost thinking like, am I used to the bullshit to where it doesn't affect me no more? Or it's like, oh shit, I actually removed myself from that because I knew I wanted better, and that's when I was. Around that time, I was unintentionally working on myself, but 26 to now, I was intentionally doing the work.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, by that time I already had my second kid, and I'm like, okay, bro, like, this ain't working. I'm making babies with, you know, people all across the bay at this point. Like, you know, like, you know.
I got to change up the game real quick.
Man, you know, like, I got one kid over here, and I'm like, fuck, like, I really got to do something different. Yeah. And so, I never was in a mindset to where I'm looking for a relationship or looking for my person because I was too busy trying to work and find myself.
Yeah.
And when you start doing that work on yourself and when you start being intentional about the type of information you put into your body, the food you put into your body, the entertainment you put your body through and shit like that, like, people see that and they gravitate towards that.
Yeah, let's say you'll attract people that's on that same frequency.
Yeah, so it's two types of people, right? Like, well, how I see it, you attract people that's also intentional about themselves, and then you'll also attract people that want to do that but don't know how, or people that are users. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of, I don't want to make it all about women, but I know a lot of women out here that feel like the world owe them. Because they didn't have their dad in their life. You know what I'm saying? Or because the man that they really loved or whatever shitted on them. Or because every relationship they got into, they got shitted on. Or, you know, like they just felt wronged. And it's like, why do you feel like I owe you that?
Yeah, there's something interesting that happens with like, I feel like men too, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like life puts you through things. I look at it like this. Life puts you through shit. It'll beat you up and this and that.
Yeah.
But unless you're able to have a moment where you're like, actually, it isn't life. It's this decision I made that led to this, then I did this and that. I kind of created that situation. Unless you're really to take the accountability and wrap it up like that, you're always like, got a chip on your shoulder. Oh, it was because of this. I wish, if this person didn't do this, I would be here to do. Exactly. You're always gonna be tense until you could really. And I think that's the hardest part. And I think that is, just to get back on the women thing. in my experience, it's very hard for women to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even in just, I've talked about it before, even in like society and shit, men, like I feel like we fuck up so much. We're
Yeah.
always the cheater. We're always the person that did this or got loud and disrespectful. This, we're so used to getting painted as a bad guy, like it's almost like automatic.
Expected, yeah.
It's expected. You know what I mean? You look in the movies and shit. Something happened. Oh, well, what'd he do? What'd he do this time? What'd he do this time? You don't even hear the words. Well, what did she do? What did she do? It's just, it's almost like it's like a stereotype thing,
It's a
right?
stereotype, yeah.
But like sometimes there is situations where like that woman did do something, whether it was, she even got involved with that particular man in the first place, knowing damn well he moves this way, he did whatever to the last girl he was with,
and he told you he didn't want it.
Yeah, well, all that stuff.
He didn't want you or no situation that has to do with you other than the bedroom.
Yeah. So where it's hard for women to take that accountability, because then it's, I don't know, I almost think that's like a masculine trait, bro. Like, is that just some men we are automatically? Because I know I do. I'm like, damn, I'm like hard on myself, like judgmental. Like, I'm almost think I'm responsible for everything. You know what I mean? So, but then
because you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You are,
exactly.
Yeah.
And where,
And I didn't mean to cut you off there, but so are women. They're also responsible for everything that happens around them too. But it's how we handle it. You know, it's like we are taught at such a young age, or if you're not taught, you experience that shit. Like, nah, dude, this was on your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter what you didn't have or did have, you fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, cool, fuck it. If it's my fault, it's my fault. The definition of a man is determined right there on how he handles that conversation with himself.
Yeah.
Because it could take 1,000 people to say it to him, but if he don't hear it, he ain't gonna hear it until he has a conversation with himself and how he handles it.
Yeah.
Women, there are women that can have those conversations with themselves, and some of them may even live with that internal struggle, but they get so much more cop out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, bro, I could say, like, I'm gonna just give a generic example real quick. Like, there have been times where I had no business going to the club because I was broke as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I probably had like $100 in my pocket. Man, fuck it, I'm gonna go out. I'm trying to get drunk. I'm gonna be with my niggas. It's good. And I'm pretty sure women do the same thing, right? But the cop out would be like, okay, the girl didn't have to pay the cover. She got a couple drinks bought for her. You know what I'm saying? So for her, the situational repercussions of that really don't affect her, because like, oh, well, I got this and that. It don't matter. I still got $100 to last me till next paycheck. Dude, on the other hand, like, fuck, I got paid this cover, weak ass little $20. I'm gonna buy a drink. Now I only got $40 to last me to this week. Fuck, I shouldn't have done it. I'm not gonna do this shit again. You get what I'm saying?
They leave that situation with stress instead of, oh, I just went to the club and got some drinks and this and that.
Exactly.
We
it's
leave
different.
Like, fuck, man, I'm hurting, man. Now I really gotta figure some shit out.
And it hits different, bro. And it's like, even when, like, just to circle back, baby mama, baby daddy shit, like, there's so much more. I can't say programs, but people are more willing to help women than they are to help men when it comes to children. And it's like, I know that firsthand, just the way I grew up. I didn't grow up with my moms. You know what I'm saying? It was just me, my dad, my brother. And I saw him struggling, losing jobs left and right because he had to take care of us. But I know people with moms that's like, oh yeah, she was giving 3 months off of work to handle us being sick and stuff, and she still had her job and benefits. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've never heard my dad complain about it. This is the conversation he had with himself. Like, I decided to have these boys. It's not my fault. They mom not here. I gotta eat this. Like, so
it's not even an option, bro. Like, it's just like we're just brought up. You just gotta swallow that shit. And somebody just posted some shit about, like, it was almost some stuff like opening up and basically being honest with your woman, but then your woman will look at you a little less, you know what I mean? That's that. And I even commented on it, and I was just like, man, that's sad, but it's like, it's the truth. That's facts.
I don't see how that's not the truth. Like, bro.
That's facts. And it's very interesting how, like, and I've witnessed this, I've actually experienced this. It's like, you open up and you explain certain things, this and that, and yeah, you go because people are like, oh, just be open with me, tell me the truth, this and that. And when you do, you can just feel it.
You can see it.
You can see the like, just the oh yeah, this motherfucker ain't. I look at it like in the primal, fucking caveman days. You feel me? It's like a caveman saying, "Hey man, I can't go kill nothing and have no, or I don't know how to make this fire, so we gonna be cold."
Yeah.
And that cave lady is just like, "Well, fuck, I'm going to the next caveman
Yeah,
because
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
find something
survive."
better. Yeah.
Those little things are really innate in us, and I know it's like kind of vague, but like that shit really is programmed in our heads. You know, and you see it when you see, man, I see this all the time where like men, whatever, they hit hard times and they're not bringing in, the money they was, and then the wife or whatever is bringing in a little more. Those dynamics get all tossed around. Oh, that shit is sick, bro. Them women, even though they still together, that woman she is single or not even single, but on the market in a sense. Like we gonna keep it lit right now, but there's definitely gonna be a sub in and out at some point because you ain't performing. You know what I mean? And real women, I want to get some women on here that'll really be like, yep, that's really true. And that's I even told my son that before, like, don't never get comfortable, bro. Don't never think, oh, I got this shit, like I got this shit tied up, because I don't want to say women are always on the lookout for like a better situation, but because there's some solid ones that just or whatever. But like, if you do get to that point where you're just struggling and you're not, you got a little wiggle room, like maybe whatever, a few months or something, as long as you're being proactive looking. But like, as soon as she senses like kind of like giving in, like giving up, like man, this shit, or the depression's kicking in, bro, as sad as it is, your ass gonna get left, bro. Like straight up, or cheated on or something.
That's facts.
You know what I mean?
It's just like you said, it's programmed in us, bro. Like the caveman example that you gave, like I felt like that was nail on the head, just because men are in our natural core, we want to take care of the people that we love.
Yeah.
Whether it be your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your partners, that could be men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if I got something, you got something. That's how we are naturally.
Yep.
And women are natural nurturers. They want to take care of you. They want to make whatever they could, make your burden easier. So if they have in that example that you gave, like the caveman can't make a fire, it's like we are natural born leaders. And I feel like women are looking for leadership 24/7. I don't feel like they necessarily always comparing their man to the next man or looking for the next best option, but they're always looking for leadership. They need direction.
Yeah, I like that. That's a better way to word it. Yeah.
And if the minute you tell them, I don't know what to do, or like how you said, throwing in the towel, I feel like that's the caliber of woman that you pick. Like that's when you really get to see it. You got one that's holding you down in a sense, like, okay, he just needs to figure he needs some time to figure it out. Go ahead, babe. Like, I love you and I trust you. You gonna figure it out. And then you got something that's like, what? Hold on, you don't know?
Yeah.
Man, let me go over here so I don't even have to deal with this. So it's like that kind of, and like, I would never blame no woman for acting like a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to this day, like if a man gets mad at a woman being emotional and doing what she feels like she has to do to survive, bro, like you're a hypocrite, because that's what we would do.
Yeah.
Well, like if we had to cut back on the bills because we got to do what we got to do to survive, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Every man in the room is gonna be like, yeah, you did what you had to do. The women may not agree, but it's like, you get what I'm saying? It's one of those tit for tat things. Like,
I think what you hit that on the head, like with men and female dynamics, like we caught up on trying to like make the other person act and see shit our way.
Yeah.
When we move, it's a male and a female, like for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like we're so caught up now in today's world, like trying to like get on the same page and act the same way, when it's like we're not finding the beauty in the duality or in the opposite shit. You know what I mean?
Bro, thank you. Yes. Because a lot of people say we're the same. Now, we're human species. We're the same type of species, but we are completely different. There are things that we do, and there are things that you do that are innate in us. Yeah. And that's just what it is. Yeah. So,
and that's a beautiful thing. I think we strayed away from that shit. Like, it's so many podcasts or whatever it is, books, trying to like understand the other person or understand the other view, but it's like I get it, and there's some value in that, but at the same time, sometimes maybe you just don't need, you ain't gonna understand because you know what I mean.
It's
It's
not meant
like
for you to
me,
understand.
yeah. It's like me
Yeah.
trying to like, yeah, explain what it's like to be a woman or something. I can't ever be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel you. I know what you're going through. No,
Yeah.
the fuck, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
know what it's like to whatever whatever it is we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, nor will I ever know because I'm just whatever it is. I don't have those parts. I don't walk. I'm not looking the same. I'm not.
See?
I wasn't raised the same.
Yeah.
The opposite sex don't treat me that way because I'm this.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's a lot of like almost would say like a lot of wasted energy.
It is.
You know what I mean? As opposed to just like knowing your position. It's almost like a business. Instead of people trying to be like, okay, well, I need to know whatever. I'm the manager and she's the technician or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of her trying to like learn all these managing skills and this and that, just do your tech. Just focus on your position.
Exactly.
That's you don't need to know what I'm doing because
Yeah.
my position is completely different. We need both of them.
Exactly. We need both positions to get the job done. Yeah.
And I think if people like couples
understood that better. Yeah.
it
Play your
would be
part.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like just play your position instead of trying to switch it up so much.
Exactly. And I like how you said that too because it kind of like, because I can even bring it to color. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like I cannot tell somebody what it's like to be Hispanic. I'm not Hispanic.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm black. But even, like you can go the whole colorism shit, right? But like there's some of my partners that are like dark skinned that's been through shit that I would have been like, what the fuck? I don't even know how to handle it. Like, shit that's just wild. I'm talking about some of the most racist shit I've ever seen that I've never experienced.
Yeah.
But I've experienced the racism on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Like, like just for one example, one of my partners we was leaving, I think it was like Food Max in Antioch. There's this white lady driving this truck. Mind you, we was like 19 when this happened, right? It's Antioch, bro. It ain't no major segregation in there. Like,
yeah.
Me and him walking across the street, we hand in hand, we talking, laughing, bro. She rolled down that window, whoa, 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 just went off on him. And I'm looking at him and I'm looking at her. I'm like, bro, who the fuck is this? Like, and he was like, he responded immediately, bop, 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 like just woo, went there. And she smashed off and we kept walking in his car. I'm like, bro, what the fuck was that about? He was like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, hold on, bro. Like, you didn't know her?
That's
like,
just some normal shit for him to go
bro,
through.
he was like, bro, like, that's never happened to you? I'm like, nigga, no.
What was she saying? Like racial slurs?
Bro, yeah. She was, bro, with the hard R.
Really?
You feel me? You black ass, woo, woo. Like we're standing next to each other, but it's like literally like pointing out all his features. She's talking shit to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm with him. You feel me? So like I took it as like, who is this bitch? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I asked him like you would have thought I wasn't even black the way I was asking him questions. Like, like, hold on, bro. Like, how did that
you go through
like,
this?
bro, for real, it was crazy. But then like on the opposite end, it's like there's been Hispanic girls that I've dated and I have to, meet their families or whatever before I take the girl out. And I'm going in there and they're like, oh, well, you black, but you ain't black.
Oh,
like, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look like you could be one of us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you don't act like that. You don't dress like them. So, and I'm just kind of like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, I am black though. Like, and like, work related shit too, but.
Yeah, that racial shit get real
weird.
That shit get real deep too.
Weird,
and it's
bro.
like so many different levels and so many different perspectives on that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, I get it all across the board too. Especially like, I would almost say I experience more like interracial.
I was about to say that
now because
I was about to say that
I feel like when you're mixed, it's interesting. Cause like I've even talked to other like mixed people. At least for me, I don't have a strong like, oh, I'm this. Like, oh, I'm whatever. Viva la Raza and all this and that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not being so mixed and not having like, I guess you could say like a stronghold on the culture like that. I look at it as a benefit, honestly, because to me, that pride. I feel like pride in anything, honestly, to a certain degree, it'll fuck with you and it gets you in some trouble because I know some people that are like super, super prideful of even like what their race is.
Yeah.
There's almost like an extreme. It gets to extreme points in it to where you're like very like anti anything
Anything
else.
else?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
To where I kind of like being. You know, I'm pretty much like what is it, Caucasian and Hispanic, but I don't really speak Spanish like that. So
Yeah.
I get shit from like Latin people. I kid you not, bro. I be getting so I was hella frustrated yesterday, bro, because I went to a spot
Yeah.
to get her like a little dress and for my daughter, and then like the people didn't really speak English to where I'm trying to conversate this and you know it's like talking to a wall. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
fuck, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a combination of like I'm mad, like damn, I want you, you know, I want you to learn, I want you to know English or whatever. But then I'm
Yeah.
like actually mad at myself because I'm like, fuck, I should probably know a little more than this, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a frustrating mode to be in, bro.
Situation.
And then I go to the taco truck and it's the same shit. I go to
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
taco people that be doing the shit in the parking lot, and I can't even like halfway order. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm just pointing at pictures and shit.
You
And
like this.
but when I'm walking up, they
Yeah.
expect me. They start speaking, and then I
Yeah.
just like, hey, nah, because I don't speak it enough to like catch what they saying. So I had to
Exactly.
just go full. I don't know, full white or whatever. And
Yeah.
just be like,
Yeah.
nah, just
Yeah.
give me one of these, this and that. And it's just the service just ain't the same. It's just
Nah, and
it's
they look at
frustrating.
you. They look at you. They
Bruh,
side eye you.
it's frustrating as
And
fuck. They look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like, what's wrong with me?
yeah.
Like you don't even deserve. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
some of it is in my mind. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
just like
Yeah. Yeah.
blowing it up too much. But then some of it do be where I can see it. You can see the
You can see
eye.
it. You can feel it.
You know what I mean? I don't get no salsa. A little burrito be a little
Yeah.
whatever. But
I can
it's
say.
just one of them things.
I can say for myself, like I always view myself as a black man, even though I am mixed. It's like, bro, I'm black. You know what I'm saying? Like all my partners, you know, like I'm always like I don't even like peep it until that people like my niggas will make fun of it. But they're like, yeah, I'm the light skinned one, I'm the white one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's funny to me because I'm just like, yo, y'all crack all these jokes, but like at the end of the day, I identify like I got a hard hold on that black side. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I knew. That's all I grew up with. So everything else doesn't matter to me. I'm not saying I'm not it. I'm not saying I'm not proud to be it. But it's just like the culture of being black is what I embrace. That's what I was born in and I grew up in.
Yeah, yeah.
But even for you, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I thought you were.
Oh, I get
I
it
thought
all
you
the
was.
time.
You feel me? I'm like, oh, this a nigga. Like,
Bro, what the
yeah.
what she say, bro? I was talking to this girl the other night, and she said, "Oh, I was sending voice messages, and she said something like, she said, man, you sound like an old black man on a porch.'
That's hella funny.
I was like cracking up, and then what did she say? It was hella funny. So she was like, yeah, they had sent me a picture. She sent me a picture. She was watching like a scary, or I seen she was watching a scary movie or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I sent a picture. I was watching Martin. That's my shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's like my hands down favorite. I'm like literally rewatching that shit right now. From episode 1. And I sent her a picture of that, and she was like, "Oh, that makes sense. That's probably why you sound like that."
That's hella funny.
Hey, but I was cracking up because I was like, man, damn near you right. You feel me? I've been watching this shit since I was like 4 years old. Or some shit, you know? So it's just funny, and I just laugh at it. Like I literally don't take no offense to none of it because it's like I know, like I can hear myself. I'm like, bro, I'll probably be confused too. Like this food look Latin, and you know, but I get that a lot. You know what I mean? Which is that's why, like, even when it comes to like culture, it's especially in the Bay, bro. Like in the Bay, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? I really feel a little different ways or whatever when I go out in like different areas and shit. And then they're just kind of they're really like, what the fuck? Like why you know? I got asked that shit. Like why you talk like that? And I've got into shit. Like even being in Sacramento when I went to school, I remember like the real white boys was like asking me shit like that. Like why you talk like that, Ariaga, this and that. And I like, got into it like a few of them. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? Because I never necessarily had nobody ask me that out here.
Exactly.
And so yeah, it's like one of those things we're just kind of like, I guess just kind of blessed to kind of be whatever, or just kind of move in these ways or whatnot. But I don't know. I like talking to people about all that because even like as extreme as that was, like that lady that said that shit to your boy when y'all was in the parking lot, like that wasn't like I don't know what happened. That wasn't justified or nothing. But
Yeah,
like
it's just
even having being white and like being in rooms with like white people that necessarily haven't really been around black folks and nothing like
you
that,
feel uncomfortable.
I can see
Yeah.
like they're just not around them. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or whatever they have obviously a negative connotation right towards black people, but it's like I can see how that happens because it's like their parents acted one way or whatever they see
Yeah.
on TV is is portrayed. Actually, that's a good. I want to talk about that while we on this race shit, bro. So, what do you feel as a black man watching a lot of like the TV and like shows and shit like that, and let's just say like how like black people are depicted? Does that ever make you feel away, bro? Because I ain't gonna lie,
Bro.
I'll be watching shit sometimes, and I'm like, I mean, it might not because I watch shit where like they have Latin people or they make them just look ignorant and whatever as fuck.
Yeah.
But I always wonder like, do black folks always ever be like, bro, they making us look so bad? Does that ever come across?
Most definitely. Like bro. And it kind of depends on the only shows I feel like that actually treat black people regular is shows like Fear Factor type shit. Like, but it's still a niche and it's like athletic type shit. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, what's the stereotype about black people and athletics? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, most of these like these like reality shows.
I'm gonna say the show that came to mind. That's what I brought it up was, bro. What's fuck. Damn, Don, my son put me onto that shit. Big brother, he be in the house and they're like,
could have been records, dude. Yeah, bro. What's that? Drewski?
Drewski,
yeah, Drewski, bro. Hey, he is hilarious. First off,
but he is, but it's like
he making fun of people.
Yeah, bro.
So that I'm not upset about because, and like, let me just make it clear for people, like bro, like I am not like the black guy that speaks for all black people. You know what I'm saying? It's like just me personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like a lot of people take that Drewski shit serious because he's a funny dude. He crack jokes like he funny, goofy. Like anybody that's signing up for that, you know what it is. Now it's for the shows that portray to be one thing, but they have the one oddball that's just fucking shit up, right?
Oh
one thing I like one I could mention. My boy, he was on a TV show. Can't remember the name of it right now, but it was pretty much like a love show. Like you go there with your significant other, but then like you're dating other people, and it's like, does this work? Yeah. Like you want to get back together, you want to try something else type shit.
I know what you're talking about, but I forget what it's called.
I can't remember the name of it. But like the thing is, a lot of people, a lot of non-black people and most black people, black men and specifically, will be like, nah, what's wrong with that, right? Because we're so sexualized to where it's like, all right, if I'm gonna give anybody a chance, right? You got frumpy body Tom and you got buffed out Rashad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like, okay, cool. Of course, all the women are going crazy for him. Like they go to the clubs or whatever, all the women over him. Oh, he's so big. Like it's that sexual, hyper-sexualized and fantasized not only by white women but Latin women, all that stuff. I feel like
the whole like like you got the whole stigmas like the tall, dark, and handsome, like all those type of words and shit. Yeah,
like which at the end of the day, it is a stereotype. It's not a negative stereotype, but it's like, okay, what do you normally associate that with? One night stand, have a good time. Have a baby by the nigga because he might be famous for some athletic shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, bro,
dick, all the shit. Yeah.
But then it's kind of like, okay, but like everybody else has morals. Like in the dating pool, right? The other guys will be like, no, I'm really looking for love, and the black guy will say the same shit too. But what are they only showing? They're showing clips of the black guy with this girl, this girl. But everybody else, oh, look at this sweet, serene. View with him and this girl. Oh man, it's true love, and she treated on him with Rashad. Like what I'm saying? He fucked it up. Like
he the home wrecker.
Like
it's funny how we talking about it, but it's really that shit is really real because it plants a seed in everybody's minds that's watching it to where like it does it like like even cats that it almost like demonizes like the black man a little bit to where it's like, oh shit, I gotta watch my girl. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The tall, dark, and handsome dudes. That's what they do. They snatch your girls.
Yeah.
And it almost causes like a phobia, bro.
But it also, in our minds, like, bro, like, I'm not proud of this shit, and I've had a lot of karma since this shit. But like, it kind of shows you like all these women out here. First off, fantasize about one of the black men. Oh fuck, I'm a black man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, she's looking at me. I'm looking at her.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got a nigga or not. Like, I'm trying to stick. Like, you know, and it's kind of like
this is what
you want.
This is what I do.
Yeah, so like this is what you want, right? Like, you don't really want to be with me. I could just use your body, like.
Yeah.
And then that's, you know, you get the whole like black men are fucked up. They have issues with commitment. It's like, of course we do. Like, look how much we're sexualized as like from when we're kids to when we're adults.
Yeah.
We see this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, so it's like, you know, it's an extreme. It's like you either got people that hate you or people that sexualize you. And it's like, bro, like it's
and why do you so let me take it to this. Why is it like this that hypothetical person like we're talking about on that show?
Yeah. Like,
what do you think makes it okay, or what is it like the dialogue inside of a person's mind that's like, it's all good. I'll be that black dude on the show. I'll keep feeling this fire. You know what I mean?
So
how does that keep happening? I guess is what I'm asking.
I'm glad you said that, bro, because I was gonna segue into that. Like, so a lot of people may not agree with me when I say this, but it's like the culture. So black people in America don't have a foundation in our culture. Like, we know all the things that black people did. Like, okay, so for instance, right, like, cause I mean, you like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, you black to me, bro. But like, I know you not,
Bro,
but you feel me? Like, okay,
which is not to cut you off, but like, I do know I have that like, impression on a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So I almost kind of use that to like, because if somebody else asks these kind of questions and say anything, they don't really. I don't know. I don't want to say I got a pass, but like, I kind of use that comfortability to actually get these dialogues going, because a lot of other people can't say that, because I have heard that from a lot of people, right? That what you just said. So, but Go ahead.
It's like they'd be too nervous. They wouldn't know how to word it right?
Yeah.
But like, I would say, so when you think about culture, right? When I think of culture, Hispanic culture, I think about the family dynamic. I think about the food. I think about the traditions that you guys have, like Cinco de Mayo and all these other holidays that you wouldn't hear outside of a Latin community, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do black people have in America? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure
game show.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure there's some shit in Africa that the Nigerians have and all that shit, but like, I'm not fucking Nigerian, bro. Like, you know, like, I'm so many generations away from that, like, to where it's like, what is my culture? Okay, so it's hip hop. What is hip hop? You know, it's rap. What is rap? Then it's sports. Then it's, you know, whatever is shown in the news. You know, then it's like, it comes down to our family dynamics. Like, our stuff, whatever has been given to us came with stipulations, and whatever has been taken from us has yet to be recovered.
Got you. Because it's like you're almost like, it's like you're so far removed from like, you know, Africa and all their traditions and all that. It's like, I guess that's like the argument would be for some people, they would be like, that's like, I've heard people say this, like, I'm not African, I'm African American.
And there's a difference. It's a difference. And it's like, you know, like, I don't know how other people think, you know, like, I don't know how you would think about this. Like, if you were ever to make a decision, I don't think anybody's really thinking like, oh, what would Mexico, where all the people in Mexicans like think about me making this one decision right now on this game show to be portrayed like this. No, I won't do it. I don't think anybody thinks like that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to remember, like, since there's no real form of unity within the black homes, I'm not even talking about within your neighborhood, just your home alone. You know what I'm saying? Because we're taught at a young age, like, kids 18, you kicked out. You know what I'm saying? There's not too many young families, like, young men or women that stay with their families past like them early teen years to early 20s. So like the family life isn't really there. The family dynamic, the self-worth, because you constantly had things taken from you, or you know that you're better than somebody else and you've proved it, but yet you still aren't picked. There's a lot of things to where it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and say all black people are doubting their self-worth. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is just like,
there is like just generally speaking, because I've had a few people tell me that there's like a sense of like, that's where you get like the whatever terms like angry black woman, angry black man, or that kind of shit.
More so like what I was kind of going for was like, I'm gonna get it by any means, regardless.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So where it's like, bro, fuck it. If I'm gonna be the bad guy, fuck it. I'm gonna be the bad guy, and I'm gonna get I'm gonna fuck all these girls, and I'm gonna get the most screen time, and they're gonna remember my name, and hopefully I can spin this to something. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to trying to be upstanding and respectable, because
like a representative of the race. I'm like, because, now more about I gotta get
because
mine.
Guess what? Now you're boring. Now it's like, damn, we got the one black dude here, but he ain't even doing what we want him to do. Fuck him. Like,
and he ain't and even from the black side, they'll be like, man, he ain't even black. He ain't even black enough.
Yeah, like or like they'll be like, man, shit, fuck that. I would have cracked her ass if she would have threw it my way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like most men would say some shit like that.
Yeah.
But like I said, like we're hypersexualized more than the average. You know what I'm saying? Like that is one thing that still kind of blows my mind. Like even like, bro, like I feel like it's hella weird when I have grown ass women complimenting my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son, I just told you, he's 5, like, and I get it, he's handsome. You know what I'm saying? He's a handsome little dude, but I'm just kind of like, it always be the older white women.
Oh, okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's like there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you look nice today. Like, woo. But it's like, he is so handsome. Oh my God, what is your name? Oh, you little soul snatcher, you. I'm just like, I'm just kind of like, bitch, you better back the fuck up, like, bro, I don't know. It kind of just reminds me of like when I was a kid. Like, I'll get these inappropriate ass comments directed towards me, like, oh, you got some sexy ass eyes. Like, bro, I'm in elementary school. This grown ass woman talking about I got sexy eyes. Thank you. Like, I'm in when I was younger in my head, I know I went to take it somewhere, but now looking back on it, it's like, bro, that's wild.
Do you think you would be getting, or your son would be getting the same compliments if you were like darker skin?
Like if he was darker skinned or if I was like,
either one, because you say you both got the similar comments, Tony. Just because I know there's like the colorism, different colorism between like lighter and darker people.
You know what? Honestly, I think it will kind of be one and the same. It kind of like pick your poison type of deal, like because you got some people that do not like light skinned black men. Like there is a lot of black
y'all get a lot of shade thrown on you,
by the black community, bro. I'm talking. You so soft. You Drake. You Chris Brown. All that weird shit.
You heard that Rick Ross diss that he just came out calling Drake white boy. Like, white boy.
Bro, it's like,
so it's like
you never really like lead that shit. Like niggas is always gonna make fun of that shit, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like. I would say this is my personal opinion, right? I've had just as many black women like me just as much as any other race. But I would say Hispanic women are way more aggressive for men that look like me than any other race. But if I was darker complexion with the same features, even my son, like, if it don't, I don't see it being different. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting. Like when you identify like what you attract, you know what I'm saying? Because I think everybody has some. Well, I don't know. Some people, because I don't even know. I wouldn't even necessarily say I have a type. I'm kind of.
You don't have a preference? I do. I like what I am. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, I would say. Damn, we would really have to do like an eye test for you, like line them up and have to like without me thinking where my eye went or something. Yeah. But I'm pretty open. I like all different. I'm more of a personality person, like how you move and all that shit. But anyway, when you identify like what you attract, like you just said, Latin women be up on you like that. That's it's always like surprising, and then it makes you like wonder like why, like what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, for you even to say that, we almost got to do an well, I know you got a girl now, but I was just saying, we got to do an experiment because it's so crazy because I would say I attract black women more than anything. Than like white women, even my own race.
But I can see that though.
You know what I mean? And I've always laughed about it because I was like, damn, what is it? And I've always like rationalized it. I was like, and somebody even told me this. She was just like, "Cause you're like just enough." You know what I'm saying? It's like you're like babies, like a
You know,
say like a balance. You know what I
so
mean?
I would say this, right? I would say this, and I can say this because I'm light skinned, right?
Yeah.
You black enough to where you have all the attributes of what black men are typically associated with. The swag, the areas you be in.
Yeah.
It could have been the cars, the way you dress, the way you talk, walk, all that stuff, tattoos.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, you're not necessarily light skinned, so you don't got that stigma of, oh, this nigga might be soft. This nigga think he prettier than me. Fuck that. I ain't gonna deal with his ass. Like all that type of shit. It's just like, oh, okay, like, and you're not the norm. So it's like you stand out a lot. They're like, who the fuck is this? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what
so
I kind of. That's kind of what I was thinking too, because like, even when I went to like, I don't go out much, but like, say I go out in like downtown Oakland or something.
Yeah.
There's not too many like not black people like out just moving and grooving. You know what I mean? So I could just feel it. I could see it.
You can see
it. I know like it ain't gonna take much because like you said, it's different. You know what I mean?
Are most of your friends black? Like, you know what I'm saying? When you slide
that
out?
too. Yeah, that too.
And then like, I would say even the ones that could somewhat fit the same criteria of how you look or how you like carry yourself.
Yeah.
Typically, they click up. Like it's a group full of Mexican dudes.
Yeah.
And then like they typically kind of, not saying they stick to their kind, but the Hispanic women are just as attracted to them as they are as anybody else. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, I don't feel like it's intentional, but a lot of people, if you can stick with your kind, you have a tendency to stick with your kind. So if you're in a club and I see a bunch of Asian girls and I see a bunch of black girls and they both feeling me, like I'm more than likely, like it'll be easier to segue into the black group than it would be the Asian group. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're getting love on both sides.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
So the fact like you being there with black men, you operating like one of them, you already stand out. It's kind of like, bro,
it's kind of a perfect little cocktail.
Bro, shoot fish in a barrel.
It's been interesting though, bro. Like I remember going to like Latin clubs. Bro, and being hella mad, bro. I'm like, bro, I can't get they looking at me like
what the fuck?
I got some on my face or something because it does it's or even if they were looking a certain way, as soon as I open my mouth, I could feel just the rush of like, oh no, this is not, it's just he's not one of us. That type of vibe,
yep, that's what it is.
And I just be like, man, I remember being drunk a few times, like, man, fuck these Mexican girls, like, what, like straight up, like, but it's, but like being older and realizing it and just learning about like, just classes and seeing people and stuff like that. It's like I understand what it is because it's like you're a little bit foreign, you know what I mean? Especially in my case because I should be one of them, but I'm actually am pretty foreign to them to where it's like and then also too it's like you kind of get in. So I think women too sometimes they like almost just like men they almost put somebody in a box. They categorize somebody. They like, ooh, he a good time, or damn, I actually really fuck with him. So could I really bring him home to like mom and dad? Like they start like grading you a little bit because that's another thing with. So I would say in my experience, even with like white girls, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the white girls, I don't know, like almost like more proper type of uppity white girls with it.
Yeah.
They'll only mess with me if they've had a few like drinks in them, bro. Because it's like I think they categorize me as like, oh, he's tattoos, bad boy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I want to try to get crazy.
But
when they sober up or like when they just not on that level, they're like, oh, I can't take this food home to my dad. Like,
of course,
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting how we do size people up. Because I do the same shit. Like, you feel me? Like, I'll see a girl and be like, well, she bad. But I'm like, boy, she ghetto as a motherfucker.
See,
I can't. My mom would be like, what the fuck is you doing?
Yeah, fuck you doing with her?
Yeah. So it's like we all do that kind of shit.
Yeah, preferences.
And
I definitely have my preferences to where it's like, bro, like I like what I am. Like I like, and it's not even intentional. I just so happen like, oh, when I see a mixed girl, I'm just like, chances are I'm gonna be talking to somebody that looks like me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not saying that somebody that's full black or full white or full Hispanic wouldn't get my attention. It's just more so, well, first, I don't even really like white girls. So it's like, I wouldn't even entertain some shit like that. But it's just more so like there's nothing wrong with being attracted to what you are.
Yeah,
There's nothing
yeah.
wrong with having preferences, but it's like when you start making judgment calls, like when you take it outside of the preferences and you start labeling people certain things,
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
know what I'm saying, like if a girl, like an uppity white girl, like called you ghetto and she didn't even know you,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying, and
Yeah.
it'd be like, bro, like bitch, what, like what'd you say,
Yeah.
like, and the same thing with a dude and a chick, like just because she ain't got her ass hanging out and her titties, you know, exposed, like, oh man, like you hella uppity, like you think you the baddest bitch, you think you really like you boring, you know, whoop, and it's like, hey, little do you know, like,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
could have been the one that could have held you down and turned you out, like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like,
That part,
so
yeah.
yeah, it's all about like, you know, pretty much how much are you willing to invest in learning others,
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
and it's
And
and
like watching how you, this is what I've had to like kind of like do reel it in and just really be very intentional. Is like, how are you carrying yourself?
yeah,
Because I when you know there's been times where I'm like, damn, bro, I be attracted to the wildest girl, ooh, but
yep,
it's like like what stage are you setting? You know what I mean? Like, because I was like, damn, you know, I probably do, you know, and it's just like remnants of like how I like moved when I was younger, and I knew you know what kind of attention I could get by doing this and that,
yeah,
and it's just like you kind of just like keep doing those things, but then it's like there comes a point I would think in like in a man's life where it's like you move this way and that way, and you know you attract this, but at some point it's like, bro, like them girls that you're attracting don't necessarily match your today's lifestyle. You know what I mean? But even though
exactly,
my mind might still be attracted to the physique or just the way
yeah,
they did something or whatever, but
yeah,
then it's like the more you get into it, it's like my eyes still like that, but like
you
my
just know,
mind ain't really with that no
yeah,
more. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it's like how we mentioned before, like being intentional about what you say you want this, you say you want that,
Yeah.
and then how I said like type of women I was dealing with, it transitioned because I knew like, man, you look like a great time, but just talking to you is a headache.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
just you know what I'm saying? Just like
yeah.
being able to be just sharing the same space with you after a while, we always get into
Exhausting.
a dumbass argument. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Stupid shit to where it's
yeah,
like, bro, I can't even I'd rather deal with somebody that brings me peace.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so yeah, it's
So look, can we talk about your current status, current state with you have your lady, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
How's
locked
that
in.
been?
Everything's been
'Cause
good,
I'm
bro.
like
Like,
fascinated with that, bro. Like I'm
yeah,
like a student of like people in relationships and like what's working for that. Cause I'm like just
yeah,
trying to figure it out. You feel me?
yeah.
Like
Okay,
yeah.
well,
So how's
like,
that? That's been good.
yeah, it's been cool. I'm like, we definitely have our ups and downs and stuff,
Uh
but
huh.
at the same time, you know, it's like growing pains.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's like, hey, you say you want this, the universe is gonna give it to you.
Uh huh.
You have to do the work to keep it. See, a lot of people feel like because you ask for it, you're supposed to have it, and it's just gonna be easy and it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's not.
Ain't nothing
You know,
in life like that. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, we even did couples therapy at
That's
one
dope.
point, you know, and hopefully we could return back to that soon. But
Mm-hmm.
we live in a time frame where there's instant gratification a lot,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and you have to kind of rewire yourself to understand that's not how life works. That's not how this relationship is going to be.
yeah.
And
That's my bro. I'll be honest. Like you just said that, because my biggest thing I've realized. I think one of my, it's like sometimes it's a superpower, but sometimes it's like it fucks me up. Is my
yeah,
patience.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have
yeah,
no patience, bro. I be
bro.
wanting to like. I
Yep.
know I can get to a point where I'm like I can make. I know I can make a woman happy. I know I can offer
Yeah.
her this and do this, and you know, I could just be that couple that like people are like, oh man, I like what y'all doing. I
Yeah.
want to. I know I have it in me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just the patience of like going through the processes and whatever of getting there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
When these people be saying like coffee dates and this, I'm like, man, what the
Fuck
fuck?
that shit,
I ain't
right?
got time
Like,
for that shit, bro. Like,
yeah.
and but I know that's what's needed. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
feel these people out. It's not gonna be like you meet somebody. Oh shit, you a vibe. All right, move in. Let's do this. Woo woo. It
Yeah.
ain't. It don't work like that. But yeah. So I think
Yeah.
that's the part that I'm like, hung up on. You know what I mean? It almost even has me like acting like a female in some senses. Like when I like say I'll see somebody and I'm like, oh man, she real pretty and she do this, she got this set up, this and that.
Yeah.
Damn, and then you almost start creating a fucking story in your mind.
Scenario.
Like this is what, oh, we could do this and boy, that'll help this out and she could help me with this. I could do this because she don't got nobody to do that for. And you just build this whole shit up. Yeah. And then you start whatever, and it's like, ooh, nah, this ain't gonna, you know
work.
What I mean?
But it's actually a good. This is my personal opinion. I feel like that's a good thing that we do that.
Play it like Matt, like kind of try to see it out.
Because like, who wants to fuck with somebody that I didn't think of anything to do with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how intentional are you really about this person?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, bro, if I really feel like I'm considering being with you, bro, I've already thought about bringing you to the crib to see the family. I already thought about introducing you to my kids. I already thought about, you know what I'm saying? Like that's important because that also lets the other person know where your mentality is at. Like how I mentioned before, like we are, as the leaders, we have to let the woman know if you rocking with me, this is what we doing.
Yeah.
And it's up to her to make that decision like, okay, cool, I'm with it, or okay, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's hella interesting. And I'll be saying the same shit because I think people don't think enough about shit. You know what I mean? I think they just be moving off of impulses and then they get in these problems and these issues. And I'm like, bro, I could have told you that from day one because if you being emotional about shit, but you're not looking at what's in front of you. You know
what's
what I mean?
happening.
This person has this, and this and that going on. And because she makes you feel good for a minute. You think everything is just gonna get ironed out. No, that shit is still coming along. But I get flack for that sometimes. People be like, man, you quit or you quit shit before it even starts, this and that. But it's like, bro, I'm like, I see the roadblocks coming, and it's like, I'm just choosing not to go that bumpy ass road. You know what I mean? But I was just curious about that. Like,
I appreciate you asking about that too, because I mean, like, sometimes when you talk about it out loud, it kind of reminds you of what you got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know you got it until you say it, and it's like, oh shit, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, if just to reminisce a little bit, like my girl, like I was a freshman, she was a senior. So I always knew who she was. She didn't know who I was, though. I was just a little nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, you feel me? I remember me and my partners, we all little young niggas in high school, like, bro, she bad. But she was definitely one of them ones we was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then like, it's so funny, bro. Like, so that happened when I was a freshman. I graduated from high school. That same year I graduated, I ran into her at a Starbucks in Pittsburgh, right? So mind you, it's been 4 years since I seen that same girl. I see her and I freeze the fuck up. I'm like, God damn, bro, she look amazing right now. Big ass red lipstick, big lips, big curly hair, big old eyes. And it got so weird, bro, to the point like when I came into the store, it's almost like everybody in there had eyes on me and her. Like they just looking at us like, nigga, you gonna go talk to her?
Boy, that's some real time stop type, you know what I mean? Movie shit
bro,
right
I'm
there.
glad bro, because I felt like time stopped. And I'm like, I'm ooped, because I'm like looking at her. Bro, she's at her laptop. She, bam, looked right in my eyes, bro. Looked right at me in my eyes. I got hella nervous, looked away. I'm like, man, I'm gonna try to look again. Boom, she already looking at me. I'm looking away again. I'm like, oh, fuck. I leave, right? But as I'm leaving, I'm like, fuck, bro, I hella want to just get her number. Like, fuck. Like, this OG black dude was like, young, so you need to go back in there and get that.
Oh,
you feel me? He said that.
That obvious, huh?
Bro, he said that, bro. I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, man, maybe another time,
Oh, man.
And this happened when I was 18, bro. So when I ran into her again, bro, I laid it all on the table for her. I was just like, hey, look, like, you don't even know this, but this is what happened. Whoop. She started laughing. Like, that sounds like some shit I would do, just hella stare at some little guy that was looking at me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was real intentional about her, like, and...
Damn, so you got another chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
damn,
definitely.
That's crazy.
And I had to take advantage of that.
It went 4 years and you didn't see her. You seen her and then you didn't do nothing and then you got another chance after.
Another chance, hella years after the fact, right?
Shit.
Yeah. This was like But when did that happen? Like, what year is this? 2024? 2022?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? 20, like, yeah, I can't even remember, bro. Like, my memory's so bad. I'm old.
Yeah,
But, like, yeah, like,
there's some gaps for sure.
yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
some
Oh, yeah.
time.
Gaps,
Oh, cause she
relationships,
had kids and
babies.
all
Yeah,
that shit.
I didn't live the whole life twice. Like, you know, and then
Yeah, yeah.
some. So, yeah, so for this to come back around the way that it did, like, I tell her this. I'm like, yo, like, you taught me one of my biggest lessons, and you didn't even have to do nothing. Like she let me know, like, bro, whatever I feel like is meant for me, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, I can't be like, oh no, bro, no. I gotta be intentional. I gotta put it out in the universe. This is what I want.
Moment. Yeah.
Exactly. This is what I said I wanted. Now prove it to myself and everyone else. This is what you really said you wanted. So if there's issues that come around, you just gonna give up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, or you gonna stick it out? Like, there's been, I mean, like, we definitely had our moments where it's like, at least for me, it's like, bro, I don't think this is gonna work. You know, whoop, whoop. But when I've been able to take a step back and actually not even rationalize the situation, because you could logically explain some shit like, oh, I'm with you because, you know, it'll just be harder to not have nobody here, you know, to take care of the kids, watch kids, or like do my shit. Like, any man can do that, right? Any woman can do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, like, do I still enjoy having conversations with you?
Yeah.
If something was to happen to me, like, whether good or bad, what I feel like telling you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, all right, bro, what are the things that matter to me? It was like, all right, I always wanted to talk to you. I wanted you to be in my presence. I wanted you to, look, if I'm going to do this over here, like, hey, come on, I'm about to come pick you up. Like, that's how I felt.
That and I'm glad you said that, because, like, that's what I think a relationship should be like. I feel like you should, like, want to spend time with that person.
Yeah.
I see a lot of guys that's like, they might be in a relationship with somebody, but it's like, well, they can't wait to bounce and bounce for the weekend or go on a trip or do this and that. I get it, you always need your personal time and all that, but, like, I would like to think I
like
could
spending
get with
time with your
somebody
girl.
that I'm like, I actually like this motherfucker. Like, I don't like, if this, even she could have a cold and sick and don't even want to do shit, and I then still want to, like, just be with her. Like, I'd like to think there's something like that out there, because I tell myself, if it ain't, then I don't know. Almost it's like I almost want to say, like, I won't accept nothing less than that. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many women, there's so many things, or so many women that I feel like I could be with, where, like, on the outside it would look good. You know what I mean? And all this and that, and I could probably even have those moments or whatever, but, like, I want to feel that feeling of, like, man, I'm really rocking with this. I ain't gonna lie, you gonna laugh, but this is my realization that I made the other night. I really want some Martin and Gina ass shit, bro. I told my friend, she was like, I was like, I need to find that Gina, bro. If you watch the show and look at their chemistry and just their how they interact with each other, and because they be fighting and they break up on the show, and how they end up getting back, like the I know it's a show or whatever, but just like generally, like, how they move and they vibe with each other, that seems very appealing to me. I was like, okay, I could fuck with something like that. When I'm around a lot of relationships, it's like I don't see that.
You don't.
I see I see like people just living with each other.
I was about to say, you see two people that are in the same room.
Yeah.
But not two people in a relationship.
Yeah, like, I see it when I see people that come and get tatted. The couple will be here, and I'm just like, damn. I just be thinking, like, do y'all even be fucking? Like, I don't see no, I don't see no chemistry, bro. You know what I mean? Or even, like, if it's women and they come get tatted and they man not even here. I'm like, bro, you even have a man? Like, why your man just ain't tripping and you up in here straight butt ass naked getting tatted? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where is the glue that keeping y'all together? And that's most of the time what I feel when I see people in situations like that. I'm just like, what? You just said, like, that person has to feel some sort of void for them, whether it's like financial or stability or something like that. Like, but that for me is not gonna be enough. You know what I mean? I gotta find my Gina, bro.
I feel you.
That's my new shit. Like I've been like rewatching it, and I'm like, bro, this is really this is why I told
Yeah.
Fred the other day. This is why my standard for a relationship is so high because I like grew up watching shows like this and like not because mind you, I didn't really have an example of a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm talking about with like I can't even think of nobody, bro. Like, and I know women in my life who had relationships.
Yeah.
Even like family members and shit. I just don't remember seeing it like that, right?
Yeah.
So like, of course, you go to the next thing. You go to fucking TV, right?
Yeah.
So I just see like when I was watching, I was like, bro, this is really what I thought relationships was supposed to be like. Because
Supposed
you
to be
know,
like
if
that.
you notice in the show, like that fool, he wasn't really just you know, wasn't like a player, wasn't trying to like he wasn't cheating on her or nothing like that. It would be like little funny shit that happened, but it wasn't nothing, shit like that. To where I was like, oh, that must be a relationship. Like, but then in the real world, in real life, when I viewed relationships, I actually seen what they really were.
Exactly.
And then I was kind of just like, I actually don't like that. That shit whack. Like,
yeah.
she doing this and that, or he cheating, and you know, you start getting a peek behind the curtain, and it kind of made you like, just not want to have no parts of it.
So I felt that way. So I'll say this, like, I never wanted to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even with the one I'm in now, like, bro, like, I didn't, it's not like, oh, I really want to be in a relationship and I just happened to see her. I literally said, like, around that time of my life, I was literally saying, like, bro, I don't see, and you probably heard me say this before, like, I don't see no woman really taking me serious with the amount of kids I have and the amount of baby mamas, all this shit I got going on. It's going to be too much for any woman to handle because, one, regardless of at the end of the day, like, women get jealous. And it don't matter who it's from. Like, they may understand I have kids, but then they don't really factor in. It's like, okay, 2 other women have to be able to call me, text me, and depending on the situation, I gotta go, and you don't get to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's like, hey, I gotta go handle some shit, or hey, I know we made plans, but this just popped up. You know, it's like, and it may be spiteful shit on their end, and she knows it. It may be some female shit that she's able to read, but it's like, it don't matter because my kid's involved. I just got to do what's best for the kid.
It take a special woman to maneuver that shit.
Exactly.
Sure.
So, you know, when I stopped looking for it is when it came, and like when I started focusing on myself is when I started understanding other people. And it sounds contradictory, I know, but legit, that's the best way I could break it down. Because when I started,
I hear that a lot though. People find a person, they're like, hey, I gave up. I was done. I wasn't even looking no more. And it
wasn't
just
looking.
To happen.
Yeah, it's like when I stopped trying to understand other people and started understanding myself better, I not started treating myself with grace, I started treating other people with grace. You know, it's like, you know, there's a lot of wrong I did to people. Like, there's some people that are like, that actually meant a lot to me, but it's like, they will never return my calls. Not like I call them or text them, but it's like, I know. You know what I'm saying? Because of what happened. And all I could do is hope to be forgiven, you know, because it's like, bro, like, I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't understand what I was manifesting. I didn't understand the emotions and physical toll I was doing to others along with myself. So once I started being able to be kind to myself and understand myself and feed myself, not only like mentally, but emotionally, you know, spiritually, all that type of stuff, I was actually able to find somebody that not only does it better than me, but can help me do that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, one of the more important things too, like how you said, like, you want to be able to spend time with that person. Don't get me wrong, I still like my alone time. So I be telling, like, yo, you gotta, like, give me some space. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, like, I be working all the time where it's like I'm picking up somebody, so, like some kids, or I'm dropping off some kids. Like, you know, but like, when you find that happy balance, and when you start doing things for yourself, things get a lot less complicated. Like how I said, I started understanding people more and dealing with people with grace more is because I understood myself more. It's like Alex, like, oh man, you ain't call me, you ain't text me, it's been hella months. What the fuck's going on? Thought it was cool, right? It's like, bro, like I know you be busy. I know you got kids. I know you got your business. Like, bro, when I see him, and it's all love.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
some people really take that to heart.
Yeah.
Like some people be like, bro, you knew I was going through this and that, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've realized that I've learned that about people is you really have to have an understanding of like people moving and seeing and moving through this world in different ways. You know what I mean? And they hold the importance of relationships differently. You know what I mean? Where like I've noticed that about myself. Like I'm like, damn man, I actually hit me yesterday. I was like, damn bro, I be so kind of I guess like what'd you say like self-absorbed. You feel me? Like in my business and just trying to get my shit and make sure this look this way and that way and my kids is this and that. That I've kind of like almost like created a wall, kind of shut myself off from like a lot of my like people. You know what I mean? I think for a lot of years it was like if it ain't making dollars, it don't make sense or whatever that type of shit. And I realized that because like even like little things that would pop up where it's like yesterday I was trying to lift the pool table, right? And it was just like I was like, man, I'm gonna just post it and see if somebody hit me on the ground, because I was just like, damn, bro, like I'm so removed from like going out and fucking with my partners or doing anything like that. It's like I don't like hitting people just, hey bro, could you help me with this? And I ain't even talked to you in hell long. And so I was like, damn, bro, like I was like, bro, who could I even call right now? And that was kind of like, damn. And ultimately I damn near almost ended up I did it mostly myself, and then my partner came at the end. But like it was a reminder of like, bro, you really need to like you need to carve out some sort of time for friends. You know what I mean? When me myself, I've been so I gotta do this career, this and that, get this shit cracking that it's you almost alienate yourself from people.
Well, I would kind of this is just my opinion. Like I would kind of just like tailor it to like make pour time into what pours into you. If you feel like
some of that too.
And if you feel like like making time for your friends is like one of those things that could pour into you, then bro, like I know I ain't seen some of my partners in a while, and I talk, the ones that I'm really close, you got your group of friends, but just some ones you closer to than others. Those ones, like, we never go too long, maybe like once a month or something, we chopping on the phone or whatever, I see them, but since I moved so far out the way now, like they understand, like, and I understand them too.
That's a part of being a grown up too. It's like the more shit, the more life you live in, the more kids you get, the more you in a relationship, whatever. You only got so much time to do shit.
Exactly.
I think the big part is like when you do link back up with them, what's that energy like? You know what I mean? Like you said, is the energy, oh bro, your husband M&A, you don't fuck with us no more. Is it that energy, or is it, hey boy, it's hella good to see you? I ain't saying, you know what I mean? And peeping, how people's temperature is like, and like you said, pour into what pours into you.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And then it's like how you said, like some people that get around they boys or whatever, and it's like they talking about, bro, I couldn't wait to get away from my girl. Like, you just ready to get into some extra shit. And it's like, bro, this wasn't even that type of party. Like, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm never gonna knock whatever somebody's going through. But I feel like, bro, if your vice is this, then you probably shouldn't even be in that situation to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So it's, and it's like, I don't want to enable things that I know it just hurts you. So it's kind of like certain people that like I would make time for, or people that I don't even really talk to like that no more. Like, you still my partner. It's still all love. If you invite me to some, like, time willing, my schedule's open, like I'll pull up. But it's one of them things too where it's like, bro, like I know what you be on. I could tell you still kind of I'm never gonna say like, oh, I'm elevated mentally and you're elevated, like you're de-elevated, like here. I'm not gonna say that, but it's just like we on two different paths right now. Like, you obviously dealing with this kind of issue, and I'm dealing with these other issues. And how we go about it is different. So what do I look like involving myself with somebody doing this type of shit over here? Because then I'm gonna start falling back into some of this shit that I already let go. Like, I could I could cause myself to have a problem with something that wasn't even a problem.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, when I'm with this dude, he always get into this type of shit. Like,
Yeah.
those friends is always getting into fights whenever you go out. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Or
a no.
yeah,
You know, a lot of that shit too. It explains a lot about yourself. I know in my perspective, my situation, it definitely does because like it shows like for instance, like I was talking to somebody about it and we were talking about like just like being in a relationship and then going out like boys trips or women's trips or you know their man like still will go to the club with his boys and this and that. And to me, that's what I laughed about myself. I was like, damn, is it just me or is it like I ain't know if I'm rocking with somebody, if I find my Gina or whatever, it would be hard for me to be like, oh, I'm going to the club tonight, because my associate, I don't like the club is like we own shit, like you know what I mean. I'm not gonna go. I'm just having a couple drinks. No, bro, I'm trying to, you know what I mean. This is what people do here. I don't know why that got locked in my head, but it's like that's what we do. You know what I mean? It's almost like, and I don't know if it's just me that I've labeled these places with just like this is a mandatory toxic place that you got to do this shit or what, but like that's just how I've moved all the time. It's like I can't see me being with Gina or whatever, and then being like, oh, me and the boys are going to Vegas or something like that. We're going to Vegas. Like, not man. I'll be like, babe, hey. Straight up, like, hey, we don't even gotta tell nobody, but I'm gonna buy you a ticket. You be in the room, and I'll wiggle from there. Like, because if I'm in that situation, it's almost like it's not like I just don't have no self control, but it's like it's almost in a weird way. It's almost like not even fun if we ain't doing the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, we either gonna fuck around with the shit right now, or we just not gonna do that. But let's go to a restaurant. Have a dinner and go to fuck home.
I understand that completely.
Anything past a certain point, or if we start drinking, it's like, oh, bro, we fucking around now. But
exactly,
like, if I got my Gina, bro, it's like I don't need to have that part of my life no more.
You ain't looking for that type of those type of situations and capitalize on it. It's like whatever.
Like, why put myself in harm's way? You know what I'm saying? If I don't need to, and I think that's kind of what you was referring to. Like, if your boys is on one time and you've been living off this other time. We just need to, and that also will show, do you really even have shit in common with them no more? Could that be a union between y'all anymore? Because it's like, if you ain't doing that shit and they trying to do it, you're not. It's almost like if you hanging around a bunch of cats that's, I don't know, like doing coke or something, and you the only person doing do coke. You're gonna eventually get inched out of there,
that
you know, because they were like, "Oh, you acting weird."
What's the point of him coming here? He ain't gonna,
that kind of shit.
He ain't gonna put no money up and help us get it. Like,
and I don't know if that's just how I've moved and I've just moved in them circles, but it's just I don't know. I just see cats or vice versa, even girls. I'll go out and I'm like, I don't know. It ain't even like, oh, my girl ain't never gonna go out with her friends. I just. I would want to know and be like, what is it that y'all do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's better things to do than to hit the club. Like,
I just couldn't.
I would get it. Like, I'm a big proponent on do whatever you feel like you want to do. Like, I'm never gonna stop anybody from doing anything, even if the situation I don't necessarily agree with. Like the club, for instance, right? Like, we all know what happens at the club. Yeah. But like, if that's what her and her friends do, I'm not gonna get in between that. The only thing I would say is if I find some shit out, you feel me? Like you don't get the pass. Like there will never be a pass. It will be on some like, nah, bro, you like going out too much. I know your partners be on this type of shit because your ass be telling me they be on this type of shit. Yeah. To where it's like, all right, bro, chances are, I'm not saying I believe them. I'm just saying I don't trust you like that no more. So it's like, all right, you know what? Maybe we just need some time apart.
Yeah, it's weird because there is some truth to like birds of a feather. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
So it's like, if a female's rocking with straight weekend warrior type ass women that just out every weekend, it's like you said, we know what's going on, especially when there's alcohol. There is so much intention behind these activities, bro. And I don't know why people be
acting like it's not.
Acting like it's not. Oh, we just having I had a bad day. Once these drinks start going in, any any of this, I'm not gonna do this. I got a man. I'm happy at home to do. All
Yeah.
that shit gets all fucked up in your head. It only takes a matter of time or the right cocktail of shit to go on. And I'm not saying like people just don't have no willpower. It's like automatically gonna happen. I'm
Yeah.
just saying why roll the dice so much? Like why be in this?
Yeah.
You know, once in a while it's whatever. But like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's that's kind of the big part of it is like if they're going out hella much, like they still single and shit, then I'm gonna
Mm.
be in my mind like, well, what are we doing? How we filling each other's cup if you always
Yeah.
need for this escapism over here? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's kind of where I have to look at it.
I could play devil's advocate with that though.
That's it.
So, like, with my situation, it could be very situational, right? Like, I didn't grow up with a lot of family. So, like, for me, I know a lot of people say, nah, like, my boys, they like family to me. But, like, for me, it's like, nah, like, bro, I got kicked out the house in high school. You know what I'm saying? I was really couch surfing on my niggas' couches. Like, they moms was giving me food, giving me a place to stay. Like, even when they wasn't even there, living there no more, they let me take their room. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
they really my family. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, if I didn't, I used to look for any and every moment to be with them because it's like, bro, like I was the first one to have kids. I was the first one to have like real adult responsibilities at a very young age while they got to go out, go on trips, all this other shit. You feel me? Them niggas, bro, they used to make fun of me for being broke all the time, but I'm like, bro, like, ain't none of y'all working a 9 to 5 and paying child support. Y'all not even paying rent because y'all all
Yeah.
still live with y'all moms or dads. Like
Yeah.
I'm to the neck. Like
Yeah. It's a different life.
it was a different ballpark. But even with all of the shade and shit, like bro, I still made time to like, okay, when I make time for them, I'm there with them.
Yeah.
And then I moved all over the place and stuff, and moving to San Jose, I'm further from them, so like I didn't get to kick it with them, spend as much time with them. But like that was kind of like my outlet because like even like my girl kind of pressed me a little bit like, yo, why you always want to go out when they trying to go out? I'm like, bro, like, and she has a big ass family. They have family functions at least twice a month. You know what I'm saying? She one of them big ass families. So it's like we always going to her family shit. But I'm like, bro, I'm probably going out like once or twice a month with my boys. And it's not even on some like many shit. It's just like, bro, I ain't seen them in a minute. We got a lot to catch.
What y'all do?
Like, so we would we'll still go to the clubs, but it'll be like one of my boys works security, so it's like, bro, we get into the club for free, we getting drinks for free, we chopping it, laughing, having a good time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing crazy or devious about it, but I understand from the outside in, like your perspective, if your girl was to do that, like it'll be a little different. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So that's when I kind of had to like break it down to her and just be like, look, bro, this is not me trying to say like I don't like being at home. It's just kind of one of them things where it's like, bro, I only get to see them so much, so I like to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That just so happened to be what the what the activities has been.
Exactly, yeah. But at the same time, like I could see like I would never put I would never put my perspective over someone else's and say like mine is more valid than yours. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, bro, look, like if I said I wanted to really be with you and I know my partners ain't tripping like that, why would I make it a problem?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That part, that's kind of like where I'm kind of getting. It's like, it ain't like I would be like, oh, you can't do this, can't it? But it's like, but do we really need to?
Exactly.
And then if it's like, I would tell say if I was with my girl and she was like, oh, I just want to get together with the girls or whatever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be no thing. But if it was like, if you make it known, and this is where the communication comes in. You feel me? If she was just like a really friend oriented woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, girl, we got a house. You feel me? Tell them of us. Like, it don't never. Y'all don't have to like leave and go out. It doesn't have to separate. You know what I mean? And I think, I don't know. I think to me, I would just kind of at some point just gauge if it's like we spend an X amount of time. If the time we spend together is this, if the time they spend together is this, you know what I mean? There's gonna be something, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm like whatever. Like,
you can't go out.
Can't go out because I for sure ain't. I'm definitely not that. I'm not. Well, you didn't call me this many times. Like, hell no. I actually like the opposite. But I just watch people's actions, and I feel like people. I'll put it like this: to sum that whole thing up. People put themselves where they want to be. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
that's it. And if I
Yeah.
see you're putting yourself over here, you're putting yourself over here, even if it's work, fuck the friendship. Even if you're putting yourself at work hella much, without having a conversation of like, what is this for? You're picking up
Yeah.
OT. Where is this OT going? What are we trying to accumulate here? Whatever.
Yeah.
You're just putting yourself there, and there's no talking about it. Like, obviously, you're not wanting to be here with me, and that's what we need to talk about. So it's not even about the club or nothing. It's just about where that person's choosing to have their time spent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's I guess kind of where it's at.
That was dope. I like how you said that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
People, you gonna put yourself where you want to be for sure.
Yeah.
And like to add to that, just like how you said, like I had to really sit down with myself, and it's not even on some like, oh, bro, she tripping, I can't go out. Like it'll never be that, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're adults at the end of the day. If I don't feel like it's a problem, and there's not like, you know, if all the basic necessities are taken care of at the house and you good, the only difference is I'm not there. Like, bro, it's not gonna be a big deal. But it's like I kind of had to work with myself, and I knew it came from how I was raised. But like, I do not take people telling me what to do well at all.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, and it's not even
do
like
the opposite,
bro. Exactly.
You want me to do something? Tell me
I'll
do the
do
opposite,
bro. I'll justify it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's I was almost somewhat being of a hypocrite because like me, I pride myself on being one of those people that could take criticism well. You know, and granted, criticism, somebody telling you what to do is two different things, but it's like sometimes you're gonna hear shit that you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
Yeah.
Is the definition of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, bro, like she don't want me to go out. Why? You know, we'll have the discussion. You know, she'll say what she needs to say, and it's kind of like, bro, you know you're being a little silly about it right now. Like I told you, we were supposed to kick it. We got scheduled 3 times. I ain't seen him in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Relax. I'm gonna go. I'll let you know when I'm, you know, like I'll hit you up, you know, let you know I'll come home, like that type of shit. Just, I hate using the word compromise because I don't like compromising. To be honest with you, bro, it sounds crazy, right?
That's
like,
the vices is coming out,
bro.
Man, or what do you call that? The characteristics. That's a big one, bro. That's a big one.
Yeah, I hate it, bro, because I don't feel like it's necessary. I don't feel like compromises are necessary because all the compromise is making the other person do what you want them to do and somehow rewarding them for it. There's some type of middle ground with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like,
give me an example.
Okay, so for instance, it could be something as simple as like, okay, like I don't want to go to your family's barbecue this weekend or your family reunion. You know, like, you know, like so she may want you to go because my family's gonna be there. People want to meet you. They haven't seen you, or even if you like, they just want you to like, bro, it's spending time with quality time outside, all that shit.
Yeah.
Flip side of that could be like, bro, I just worked all day. I was looking forward. I don't have the kids this weekend. I'm trying to sleep in, but the things you're asking me to do is meaning I'm gonna have to wake up hella early, get this, that, and this ready, drive us there. I'm gonna be hella sleepy over there. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, are you in the wrong for wanting time to sleep? Like, are you in the wrong for wanting time to yourself? No, you're not.
Yeah.
And is she wrong for wanting to spend quality time have you there spend quality time with her and her family? No. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like, my whole thing to that would be like, okay, cool, well, I would want to compromise, but it would be like, okay, well, I'll go, but it'll be at a later time.
Yeah,
I can't,
what I was gonna say.
You know what I'm saying? It can't be the time that you want me to go there. Or the other things will be like, okay, well, what if I take care of this, that, and I lay your clothes out, and then when we're ready, you just got to get dressed and we go. Okay, cool. You know, things like that.
So you wouldn't want to do those?
I'm not a fan of those.
Why not?
I'm not a fan because, and I know it just stems from my past. It's just, you know, I've constantly been in situations where I couldn't do what I wanted to do fully. And you know, and the only thing that's stopping me is somebody's perception of what they want me to do. You know, it's not like something that has to be done or needs to be done. This is just something that makes you happy, not
Now,
me.
would this be something that like she would need to like explain the importance of it to you to get you to understand like why how important it is that you do go?
So that a situation like that, yeah, because like I mentioned, they have family functions every fucking month, like
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
twice a month. So I'm just like, bro, this is another fucking family party. Like I'm gonna see the same 50 people I always see. Why the fuck does it matter this time? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
or it'd be like, you know, I didn't go to the one last week. Why gotta go to the one this week? You know, shit like
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
But but yeah, so but at the end of the day, like this is where it comes. Like I hate talking about this shit,
No, that's
but
interesting, bro. And that's why I like we talking about it because
yeah,
even here, yeah, as you say shit out loud, it's like you
yeah,
start really, oh, okay, cause like, yeah, like when you were saying it, I
yeah,
was just like, damn, that's probably gonna be easy compromise. You just sleep in and go later. You feel me? But like
yeah, yeah,
the fact that you're like, I don't want to compromise. I
yeah.
know that stems from some, yeah,
Yeah,
like some
it comes from
trauma.
some other shit.
Yeah.
Like
So
I've
is
had
that
to.
something that you think you need to work on, or it's just like I am what I am. You made it
So
this far, that type of thing.
I feel like it's 50-50.
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say is like, this is where like the masculine and feminine and shit comes in, right?
Uh,
Like us as men, we want to take care of the people we love. In order for the, in order to ease the tension of the people that we're leading, sometimes we gotta throw them a bone. Sometimes make them feel good about the things that they enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, bro. I swear to God, ever since I had kids, I realized how much kids and women are alike. Like, good job. Like, not saying like that, but you
oh,
get what I'm saying.
we
Like,
gonna get
you
some.
gotta gas, you gotta
Yeah.
gas them up sometimes. It's
Nah,
like,
nah.
babe, like, oh man, that was great. Like, thank you so much for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Even though it really didn't matter in the whole scheme of things, like
Yeah.
it's kind of like, all right, like I love you and I care for you and I want you to feel good about you doing this for me and I appreciate you thinking about me.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, okay, like let me give him this bone. So it's like, okay, sometimes we bite the bullet and keep our mouth shut and we don't make it a big deal. Even though like there's been plenty of times where I didn't feel like doing shit, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And she won't even know I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't have to be a discussion. It doesn't have to be an argument.
Yeah, yeah.
Because what's gonna happen at the end of the day? You're gonna be mad, you're gonna be upset. It's gonna be a conversation for later that night.
What is your conversation sound like? Look like you trying to get out of that? Like how you basically saying I don't want to go. Like,
So yeah, I would just, for me, it would just kind of be like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to do that. It was something be as simple as that. Like I would just let her know, like, hey, like I understand that you want me to go to this, but I kind of had planned on sleeping in, so that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah,
It's not even on some like, and I used to respond like this. I used to respond like, bro, I ain't doing that. Like,
so you
like,
getting better then.
yeah, I definitely got better, like to where it's like she's just asking me or something or telling me about like the plans, and I'm internalizing it as you're gonna be doing this, this, and this, and suck it up.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's kind of
what
like
we doing.
yeah, and it's kind of like
plans, what we doing.
And me, like, bro, hold on, blood. Like, I pay all the bills in this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you telling me I'm gonna do some shit. Like,
Yeah.
like nigga, you can go. Like, I'm not telling you can't go.
Yeah.
And that's and if the conversation turns into an argument, that's kind of like how it kind of pans out at that point, where I just let him know, like, hey, so I don't know where you internalize because I'm not going means that you can't, but you can still go at the time and place and date where you wanted to. I'm not even saying I won't be there for the whole day. I'm just saying I plan on sleeping in. Let me do what I got to do. And she's been more understanding about that because I've told her about this. It's not me making excuses.
Yeah.
It's just me telling her, like, this is the reason why sometimes when you're telling me about plans, like, you need to.
It's the wording.
It's the wording. It's the wording.
The delivery.
Yeah, delivery is everything.
Motherfucker, bro. For
Yeah,
real.
because
that'll trigger shit and it'll put you in the mode of like, well, I didn't plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to whatever, like, hey, babe, like, I know we just seen my family, but we have this one. I really, I know you're tired. Let's go ahead and sleep in, but I really would like you to come at this time because I feel weird, like showing up and like you don't never
You
come.
not
Like,
be
you know
there.
what I mean?
Exactly.
That kind of stuff. Because now you're like, okay.
Now it's like, okay, I see your perspective.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
That's why I was kind of saying like, how does that conversation look? Because
Yeah.
even vice versa for you, it's like, man, babe, I work. You know, I got off hella late. I need some sleep.
Yeah.
You know, when I don't sleep, I'm just whatever. It's not that I
Exactly.
don't want to see your family. It's like I really need to sleep. And then, you know, coming up with some sort of plan or whatever to like suffice for that moment. Like whether it's
Exactly.
sleep in, I'll come a little later, or babe, can I just sleep in? I'm gonna what's it called? I'm gonna miss this one, but then I'll be
at
up
the
later
next one.
tonight. And when you come
Yeah.
home, let's me and you go do something. Just
Yeah,
something to
see?
where like she gets something, but it might not be what she exactly wanted. But like
Yeah.
there's something there.
And
Yeah.
and it's funny that you mentioned that too, because like she, like after I explained to her the way that you communicated means a lot,
Uh-huh.
you know, and she told me like the way that I respond to things triggers her.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, all right, bro, like instead of just assuming that I'm just gonna be cool with all the plans that you have for us,
Yeah.
why not ask me about the weekends that you want and see if they're free, and I'll let you know. Like, and it's not even like, you know, like I gotta pencil you in. It's more so like, bro, like, hey, do you have anything going on this weekend? Like, I would love for us to go to this party. I would love for us to do this together. And it's like, oh, you know what? Oh, well, I can't this weekend. I actually have to pick up so and so and drop them off, or, you know, or I picked up some extra hours, like shit like that. So it's like, it makes it a lot easier to navigate through those
situations,
through those triggers that I have and the triggers that she has.
Yeah, and you know what's so interesting about that, bro? Is them triggers, is that like a lot of people go through those and they just keep triggering each other.
Yeah,
they don't never be like, let's stop. Yeah, what's your trigger? What's my trigger? Because it's literally this one little ass word that they probably saying, or the you know the amount of advance in time where they tell them about something that they just got to tweak, and then it'd be like, oh, okay.
And it's all good.
And people literally will break up over shit like that. And it's like, that's why that couples therapy and stuff is really, to me, I would think it's like very helpful, because it's like, that's what it's about. It's about learning each other's language and learning how to communicate. And then you'd be like, oh, okay. Because a lot of shit that don't get talked about, I feel like as humans, we can't go like on with like not knowing something. Like so like if somebody like that, if you was to just be like, you know, I wasn't planning on doing that, I'm sleeping in, like, and not elaborating on it, like, I'm hella tired, babe, I just don't want to show up and be cranky or whatever it is. You're not going that extra mile to explain it. Now she has it. All she knows is y'all supposed to go to this, and you're not going. Now her brain is gonna make up reasons. He probably don't like my family. He don't like me. He don't. You know, he must have something against my whatever. This and that. You come up and then you'll say that enough to where like she really start internalizing it and believing that shit. And I think that's kind of what. I mean, that's what any relationship, friendships, fucking with your kids, whatever. When you just, and that's why I try to like, even when I do snap at my kids and I'm just like, man, boy, do it, bro, just because I said so. Like, because I'm just like, whatever, I'm tired or whatever. I'll have to like really stop and be like, okay, what if I was his age and the motherfucker told me that?
Am I going to feel like doing that?
I'd be like, yeah. So I have to be like, hey, bro, like, whatever. Like, I snapped at you because whatever, I'm tired, or I feel like you should have already known why, because this has happened so many times. Like, I have to, it sucks. It's like a hit to the ego, because you know, the man in you, or masculine, whatever, wants to be like, motherfucker, do the shit because I said so. You know what I mean? And because it makes common sense. But it makes common sense to me, a person that's been on this planet 37 years.
That's
you know what I mean?
You know the ins and outs. You know the entirety of the situation.
Yeah. So I find myself apologizing to my kids probably more than the average person.
That's
you know
dope.
what I mean?
That's dope.
But I think, you know, I think people, we're so stuck in that, like, do as I say because I said it. That's why, because I'm the parent. Where I'm like, if he's anything like me, even a 1% like me, like, I'm not gonna be receptive to that. You know what I mean? Because even as a grown person, I'm like, you're gonna have to elaborate. You're gonna have to make me understand
make it make sense to me
why we do this. You know. So I think that's a powerful thing
Yeah, you made me think of 2 points. I'm sorry, Adam.
Yeah.
Like one is like that's dope. That I feel like we forget that our kids are people. Just because they're young, and you know what I'm saying. It's like, oh yeah, like fuck it, whatever. It's like no, like I apologize to my kids all the time too. It's like I let them know, like, hey, I'm sorry, you know that I rushed you to get out the car and get in the house because, dude, like I had to use the bathroom really bad, but of course I didn't need to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes for some reason, like when you gotta use the bathroom hella bad and getting out the car, getting in the house, that's when kids are extra fucking slow for some reason. It's like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
Or like, you snap on them, you know, or like they asking, like my daughter's at that stage, she's asking 1,000 questions. Well, why? Well, why are we doing this? Well, who's gonna be there?
Oh man,
And
that's
who's
my
gonna
son's favorite word. Why?
exactly?
Why?
And I'm like, yo, like I'm telling her, I'm like, bro, you don't need to know everything, bro. Like some things aren't even worth knowing because who cares? You going anyways, right? But then I told her like, don't be like me though. I didn't ask enough questions and I got myself into some shit I shouldn't have got into. Keep asking questions. Just sometimes just be prepared. Sometimes not everybody wants to answer all those questions when you want the answers.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes the time and the place. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing you made me think about, I want to get your opinion on this shit, bro. Because me personally, I know how I feel about it. I just want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
All this talk about masculine and feminine. These men are feminine now. These women are masculine. Like, what do you? Those type of discussions, bro. Like, how does that shit rub you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
as far as like the masculine female, like what, like women trying to be masculine,
yeah,
or
the entirety of it, like men being called sassy or feminine because of whatever, this, that, and the third, and women saying they're embracing their masculine and all that stuff. You know, like the entirety of it, bro. Like,
yeah. I think I'll start off by saying I think it's so crazy. I feel like words are just like so subjective. It just really depends on that person's perspective, where they're seeing it and how, what view.
yeah.
Cause like yeah, the words even masculine and feminine, like people can be looking at those way different.
Yeah.
But I would say I feel like it is important. I feel like honestly that's kind of, if I'm being honest, and what I look at it, like that's almost a little bit of my appeal is my balance of masculine and feminine. Like when I've talked to women and I've conversated about it, it's like having that balance of like, you know, being masculine enough to whatever, like get up and get after it and make shit happen, and or be aggressive when it comes to like, you know, certain I don't know, dating scenarios and shit like that, or like sexual shit or whatever.
Yeah.
But then also being feminine enough to be like where I got my little incense, my candles, and I go get a pedicure and I meditate and shit. Like I look at those as more like of a lighter, more spiritual, feminine kind of vibe to it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like being able to have both of those gears is really important, because it's like even in a simple scenario, like your masculine side is gonna, you know, maybe it'll have you like speak up for yourself and be assertive in a certain situation, but then when you get that smoke, I almost look at it as like my feminine side is gonna be like have the calmness and the tranquilness or whatever you want to call it enough to be like, okay, you really want that smoke? You raising your, okay, let me calm down. What is this really worth it? Let me breathe. Let me do that. That's, to me, I don't know. That's just kind of how I would phrase it. Is like that feminine shit is making me do that. As opposed, if I was just all masculine, now I'm gonna fire on you. Now we fighting and doing all this shit. So I think that's kind of where I view the masculine and feminine, or even just like whatever. Like my masculine side, I'll raise my voice, or I'll like say something to my daughter or whatever, but then my feminine side kicks in when she like hurts herself or she wants something made for her or something. You have to have that nurturing. I almost couldn't name it that, like nurturing vibe, you know? As far as the like, are you talking like somewhat on like some gender roles type shit? Like how these women are like,
that's
like almost like single mothers, how they have to like tap into their masculine energy to kind of like provide shit or do shit. That's type of stuff. I think that same way is needed. They need to do that. I feel like again, these co-parenting, single mom things. I just don't think it's efficient at all. It's not
Yeah,
the healthiest way to do it. Yeah, people do it, but to me, I feel like there is a better way, or hopefully there could be a better way. I know shit happens, you just can't call it right, but I think it gets them in trouble.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I've even noticed like, um, yeah, you need both energies, especially raising kids. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I feel
yeah.
like on some dating shit and just like a woman appeal, when a woman is like too tapped into her masculine side, that shit
Hmm.
is like a repellent. You might as well like that whole like it's a fine line. I mean, I'm all for like women like being super like productive, career
Yeah,
oriented and
yeah,
all that, but this whole like the boss bitch shit, like
yeah.
the older I get, I'll be honest, like even when I was younger, like I was thinking like, oh man, that's what's up, do your thing. But then when you really start going through the
Peel back
day
the
to
layers on it.
day and
Yeah,
peeling back the layers and like actually going through the motions and seeing what works, that boss bitch shit, that shit really ain't appealing to men. And
bro. The masculine
it's
shit.
not
Yeah.
because like, oh, we don't, you know, yeah,
Intimidating
it's
or
not
anything. Yeah,
intimidating. It
it's
ain't even
not.
that. It's like
You
it's
want.
just not sexy, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I
you know
want
what I'm
something
saying?
soft.
Like
I want something soft to come
yeah,
home to. I don't want.
it's
What's
like
up, bro? The
yeah,
fuck,
oh,
bro?
bro. If
Like,
you even say the word, bro, you
yeah,
friend zoning like a motherfucker. Cause
yeah.
if you do a lot of masculine things, hey, do you? I ain't mad at you. But the sex appeal, to me, the more masculine shit you do, the more your sex appeal goes down. I'm thinking out loud right now in real time,
Yeah,
but it's almost kind of like that, like everything, but even how you talk. Like if
yeah,
you hella cussing, even like
yeah, yeah.
cussing, bro. Like,
Yep.
oh man, this motherfucker, this is like you talking like me right now. I
Yeah.
don't want somebody that talks like me. I don't want like my partner, like
Yeah.
my boy. I don't want you to be acting like somebody that I can be like, oh, that's my boy. Like
Yeah. That's weird. That's
it's and I
that.
don't think women necessarily
Understand the balance.
understand that balance and
Yeah.
understand like the severity of that. Because I know some friends of mine that for whatever reason, whether it's a single mom or they just been single or they just always kind of had like a more like a tomboyish sense to
Hmm.
them. I see them doing things and I don't even think they're aware of how how maybe they're turning off men.
Yeah.
Um, and vice versa. You feel me? Like men,
Yeah.
motherfuckers be, you know, I seen, you know, especially like men. I'm trying to say, I mean, it could be either raised by a man and a woman, but sometimes them single parent and women that be raising them boys, that woman didn't, especially unless she was like super multifaceted and was able to instill certain shit in them or like had them around a lot of men.
Yeah.
Some of these boys do be growing up like,
Emotional.
what's a Phillips screwdriver? What's the difference between like
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
weird shit they don't know nothing?
Yeah.
Women are looking at that like, ooh, this like what can this man do that I can't do? That's when you start getting
Exactly.
into that realm
Yeah.
to where I think that's where like there has to be a balance of energy. And I'm not even putting like I know that's super vague, like masculine is being knowing what a screwdriver is, but it's
But
just
no.
the energy. You know what I
So,
mean?
but I'm glad you use those examples because I was going to use that example to piggyback off what you just said
Mm-hmm.
because the things that I don't like when it comes to when people talk about the masculine and feminine issue
Mm-hmm.
is, for instance, like we're men. You do not do blue collar work for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do blue collar work for a living.
I don't know. Since I got my truck, bro, I've
I
been.
mean, you know what I'm
No,
saying, but you get what
I
I'm
know what
saying,
you mean,
like,
though. Yeah.
but like, bro, like, but there might be somebody, a construction worker works 10, 12-hour days, coal miner,
Mm-hmm.
and if you would have asked a group of women if they had our fucking job descriptions, coal miner, tattoo artist, engineer, who they're gonna be like, who's the manliest man out of these lineup?
Mm-hmm.
Coal miner. Why? Because he's sweating and Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with men. Like we may say, like, okay, we got a girl that does finance, a girl that's a nurse, and a girl that's a stripper. Who's the most feminine out of these three? You know what I'm saying? Those are kind of like really bad examples.
No, I
But I
get
was
what you're
gonna,
saying,
but
though.
I was gonna say like, okay, like some women might pick the stripper because like she's exuding her femininity for hours on end. Like, you know, she could come into the room and command your respect. Just, you know, she's gonna grab you in a way that somebody in those other two professions probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But it's all about perception. So like when you have, or not when you have, but when I hear and watch these discussions or some discussions I've had personally with people, with primarily women, talking about men being feminine, and then I ask them like, what is your reference point when you say these things? Because
I got a hunch.
because I'll say this, right, like, and I won't go too long winded so you won't lose your point. Like, some of these women, their fathers wasn't in their lives, dad wasn't even really around, or they was just raised by their mama. So it's like, okay, even the ones that did have like men in their lives, it's kind of like, okay, your perception of what a man is, we get it because he pays the bills, because you know, whenever there's something broke, he fixed it. Like they can see the symptoms of masculinity. But there's things that we instinctively understand without having to talk about it that we know that a woman will never understand. They don't even know that we understand this certain type of shit because you don't have. Not only do you not have those discussions, it's just because the dynamic is different. We know when we come home and our women, like, she gonna talk your fucking ear off because she missed you all day. And you're irritated because you had a bad day at work, you were in traffic, somebody hit you, you need gas in your car and you got no gas money, like shit like that. And you gotta sit there and let her yap, and you wasn't here to do this, and then it's kind of like, all right, like, you know, and it's all shit that don't matter. It's all shit that's like, at the end of the day, either happened or it didn't happen, so we're gonna keep the program rolling and hope that tomorrow's a better day.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? So like when women talk about all this feminine, like, oh, he ain't doing this, he ain't doing that, and it's kind of like, what is your reference point? Same thing with men, like.
Oh, you saying like that woman may be wanting you to like be in your feminine side and listen to that
No,
stuff?
I'm saying more so like a lot of women will possibly label a man as feminine because of their interpretation of what masculine is, and they don't. And I personally feel like a woman will truly never understand masculinity the way that a man will. The way
Yeah.
that my son will understand what, like my girl, for instance, she been on this earth longer than my son. She understands men to a certain extent, but my son is born a natural male. There's certain things to him that he's gonna grow up with. He's 20 years old, she'll be 50 or whatever. He's gonna understand certain things about being a man that she'll never comprehend. Like she has an idea, but she was never a man. There's things that you will never experience. There's conversations you will never have to be on that receiving or giving end when dealing with the opposite sex. Same thing with us when it comes to femininity, you know, and even more so with me because I didn't grow up with my mom. So it's like for me, it's like I know that okay, a good woman cooks, cleans, you know, rub your feet, all that other shit. But it's like I can never sit here and tell no woman like you're not feminine enough.
Gotcha.
Because you get what I'm saying? Because it's like,
you know what I think. I think that again the words play. I think is super important. I would say it's like there's like masculine and feminine like traits, and then some of these things we were talking about was it's almost more like gender roles, and I feel like the masculine feminine energy is a little bit different from like male and female gender roles or masculine gender roles. So because like one, I would almost say some of the traits are like more so like the mode, like how you feeling, how you moving, your interpretation on things. Where I feel like gender roles are like actually things that you do. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
To where I think a lot of it. One thing I thought about when he was talking was like, but I think you touched on a little bit was like a lot of it's like how you were raised, like how that woman, what's it called, was raised, how her dad moved and all that. Like the person that picks the coal miner or whatever. Like that's somebody that like. Because I've actually even been around women. Let me put it like this: I've been around women where their dads were like super masculine, like construction workers, very like blue collar, like you said, to where they probably looked at me like this. I'm a little princess or something because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just don't carry myself. I don't do that shit on a daily. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
But does that make you more or less masculine or more feminine than him? No. And us as
Yeah,
men, we understand that.
yeah,
Like we
yeah,
don't do the comparisons, but the women will. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah,
women
yeah.
will compare them, like not even like they'll compare themselves, like she's so much more feminine than me because
Mm,
you know, like she's able, like she gets herself dolled up for work, like you know, she puts makeup on, a lipstick, and the heels and the tight
yeah,
skirts, and she has to do that every day. And me, I kind of just work from home remotely, and I'm a bum, and you know, shit like
yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
like
You don't think we don't think we judge women on how much feminine they are though, too?
no, no, I know for a fact we do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just that I feel women are a lot more vocal about their comparisons, and
Uh,
they're quicker to be like, to like, you ain't masculine enough, as opposed to us. We'll probably be like, yeah, I don't like that. Like if a
yeah.
girl was like the bro shit and all that. If a girl was like, oh yeah, bro, like you know, you see her baggy ass jeans or whatever, and you know,
Yeah.
you gonna let it be, you gonna let it rock. Like, all right, like I don't know if I'm gonna do this, but you know, it
Yeah.
is what it is. This you. But a
Yeah.
woman would be more so like, man, yeah, you just ain't man enough for me. Like, you just like, hold on, what you
Uh,
talking about? Well, I just feel like you too soft, or you
yeah,
know, it's kind of
yeah.
like, all right, bro, like I didn't heard shit like that just for being light skinned. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
Uh,
yeah, like I just feel like light skinned men ain't this and ain't that. And I'm just kind of like, why?
yeah.
Like
I
you
feel
know, it's
like
like,
that. So I'm gonna start right there because even that right there would be like people show you what kind of people they are by like sometimes by their remarks or like how they
yeah,
even say shit. So even somebody that'll be like, I heard light skinned man is not masculine because
yeah,
like those I would almost question to myself like you thought it was safe to even say that sentence. You know what I mean? Like you
exactly,
like was you serious? Are you joking? Whatever.
yeah,
Because anybody that like generalizes people like that
like
much,
that,
I
yeah,
feel like it's gonna sound bad, but like they only have a certain extent of like how they think about the world. You know what I mean?
exactly,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, light skinned people or whatever they saw, or light skinned men or saw. So that's just what it is, and they'll even bring it up in that way when it's like,
yeah,
is that the extent of your diagnosis of a
exactly,
person? You feel me?
yeah,
And if that's the case, damn, I don't know for one if you're gonna be a deep enough thinker for me to
yeah,
even entertain you for long,
mm-hmm.
and then also too, it's like, damn, if that's if if you're like so, how do you call it, uh, vulnerable to get like molded, your mindset get molded by like little phrases like that,
yeah,
then like you just don't have no how do you call it like I don't know, just like no discernment for yourself. Like you're just like
exactly, yeah,
moving with whatever.
mm-hmm.
Therefore, it's like I don't know. I would go down a rabbit hole with some shit
With
like
that,
that because
right?
now I'm like, if you that easy to sway, then shit, you probably hella easy to finesse. You probably easy to get
Exactly.
snatched. You hella whatever everything,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah,
To where that's kind of where I'll go with that. But I get what you're saying though.
yeah,
But yeah, I would think that if somebody was to characterize me as like or say something like that, like, oh, you ain't no manly man, or you soft or something. I'm like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, then
This shit's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. It's like, what
Yeah.
was your definition? And it's like,
Like, where does your reference
yeah,
point
are we
really are?
living in the forest, bro? Do you really need me to make you a
Yeah,
cabin? Like,
yeah.
what's going on? And then
Or they when they say like if you going 50-50 with the bills and stuff like that, then you ain't no real man. And there's
yeah,
a lot of men that say that shit too. And I'm just like, first off, bro,
if
you
you
trying to get
if you not, what was it? What was the thing?
like if you go 50-50 with the bills with your girl, then you
Uh-huh.
feminine, or you not really being a man and all
Oh
that
yeah,
shit.
that's like a
And
yeah,
and my thing is this, like that is a first world problem.
yeah,
Because if
yeah,
we, like how you mentioned, was in some real wilderness type shit, we ain't paying rent. I'm building a fucking hut, and
yeah, yeah,
I could physically kick you out this bitch, and you have to do whatever you have to do to survive. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
But like, you know, it's kind of like when they make those type of comparisons and arguments and stuff like that. That's why I kind of just be like, what the fuck? Like, where is your reference point? Mind you, like, I've never had that conversation with my girl. Like,
yeah,
in our relationship, it was more so like on Instagram, like
Yeah.
we be watching shit and be like, well, what do you think about that? Well,
Yeah,
she'll say
yeah.
what she say, and I'm just kind of like, really? That's how you feel about it? I'm
Yeah.
like, tell her my viewpoint. We're kind of, all right, yeah. Like some things we agree to disagree. Most of the things we do agree on.
Yeah. I
But
think a lot of it is honestly it's just super like situational, and also those things should be like identified like early on. Like if you're a
yeah,
woman that thinks being masculine is somebody paying all the bills, well then you better be coming with some energy, some fucking feminine energy, very
yeah,
nurturing, very
yeah,
like any woman that's wanting all that kind of shit that's like ain't gonna pay for shit. Those are called like fucking sugar babies and shit type shit. Like
yeah.
you better come like with the energy of like, baby, you just pay everything, but I'm gonna do this, this, and this. I'm gonna be on point. I'm gonna be looking this way, that way. Sexually, I'm gonna be delivering it. Like
Yeah.
for you to ask that, you're gonna have to be coming with some other
See,
stuff. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And I
yeah,
think it comes to that. Like, cause I always would, being younger, I was like, oh, I was very being raised by a single mother and never, it was very independent women all around me. I was like,
yeah,
oh shit, yeah, women's supposed to work. We 50-50. Like
yeah.
I never seen no women not work. I didn't know
Exactly.
what that was.
Yeah.
So like, but I would say after being in the world and seeing what it takes to kind of like
Survive. Yeah.
survive and like work, pay the bills, clean, do all this domestic shit, and take care of the kids and pay the bill. I do see how that scenario could work. It's just like the scenario, the players got to be fit in that scenario too.
Exactly.
Like I could definitely see if I could definitely see myself being somebody that I just pay everything, but that whoever my Gina,
yeah,
my
yeah.
Gina is gonna be she's gonna love for one she's gonna like to do domestic stuff because then
Exactly.
I don't want her doing it just because she ain't paying nothing because she has to be
It's
like a
forced.
naturally want to be
Yeah.
in that mode. But yeah, I want you to be feminine and that's gonna be our balance. I'm gonna handle all this
Yeah.
bullshit. I'm not gonna bring it home and complain to it about you because I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna want your feminine, nurturing ass waiting for me at home with all
Yeah.
this other domestic shit for I don't necessarily have to deal with it. You deal with the
Exactly.
kids and all that.
Yeah.
I see how it works. I just think I don't know when you talking about the Instagram conversations. I feel like a lot of them people, it's just a lot of like
Clickbait and talking.
clickbait and
Yeah.
shit. And I feel like the people when they really would if they really talk to the people that's really doing that situation, it's either to me it would be either a super traditional like family, like a traditional that was raised up super traditional where
Yeah.
his parents moved that way, and it's the same thing with the women. Her parents moved that way to where they already knew what time it was and they knew what their roles were, or it's a motherfucker that just whatever, a D boy or a rapper,
Yeah.
something that got bread that's like, nah, I'm gonna handle everything, and now he just got him a little trophy wife
At the house.
that
Yeah.
probably ain't even doing no domestic
She
shit.
just chilling
It's
at the
like
crib.
you know what I mean. It's
See?
like one of those two.
And I feel like that's the biggest thing when it comes to that. Like if I'm paying all the bills, like legit, and I might catch some heat for saying this, but it's like I'm your dream at this point. Cause what did you want? What did you want since you was a kid, right? Like women as children dream about having a family. I'm staying home and he takes come home from work and I
That's
cook him
getting
dinner.
less and less though.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Talk about the feminine, masculine. That's
Yeah.
changing the dynamics of how kids are growing up, what they're expecting.
It is. But in the sense of like, if you want, because a lot of women are saying like, nah, he got to pay for everything. Okay, cool, but I need you to understand, like, I'm your dream now. Like, yo, everything you do is for me because now I'm taking care of everything that you do.
Yeah.
When it comes to grocery shopping, buying yourself gifts, eating, insurance, like everything I'm taking care of, bro, you got to take care of me. Anything I say I want, there shouldn't be a discussion on not doing it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by like I'm your dream now. It's like, bro, you're thinking of ways to make me happy.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking care of everything that you got. Like at that point, like unless it may sound crazy, but it's like, bro, like what do I look like? Not saying not invest into the person that you with, but like we're talking about the dynamic. Like this is what it is. So if I'm paying for everything, you going to school and you doing all this other this, that, and the third to eventually get to yourself financially to where you at, that's cool. But then once we there, guess what? Like we gotta have a different discussion.
Yeah, it got to go in phases. I
Exactly.
know somebody that went through that, and then the girl got her shit going
Did.
and all that, and it's not all good right now. They down there
Exactly.
about to, it's like now that I'm good, now I got my juice. I got
I
more
can act
options.
up.
I can do
Yeah.
this and that. And it's like
Yeah.
it's not been good. So
Mm-hmm.
it's almost a gamble doing
Yep.
that. I even tell too, because I know some females that kind of like shoot for that kind of situation where it's
Yeah.
like I'm gonna, I need a man to take care of all this, and I'll do the, and then I just want to be taken care of basically. And I always say, you get what you put in. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
like that man. Think of a man, cause I'm so tired of like women wanting like this. You see it's the same thing on these Instagram things. Oh, he got to be over 6'1", 6'2",
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
physique, making over 150K, 200K, whatever. Think about what you're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I feel like people just ramble off shit that they think they want, but for one, they never experienced it, or two, they just think like
it sounds
they
good.
they sound good, and I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna still be able to move this way, that way.
Nah.
Any man that's paying and doing all this and making all these moves and shit, and you ain't doing shit, he is gonna want a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Unless he's just on some psychological like, I always wanted to take care of a woman for whatever the fuck reason. But 9 times out of 10, now you're dealing with possessiveness, because now it's like, bitch, I run this shit, I'm paying all this. What I say goes.
Yeah.
If I want sex, and I want a threesome now. I want to do.
You have no say so.
Yeah,
nothing.
sometimes that person is going to be hyper. Anybody with a lot of money in general is at. I feel like is going to be used to getting their way to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So like, if that woman is any way not delivering that, all right, well, boom, now he's going upside your head. So like, you need to
or
like
you switched out, you replaced.
Yeah, it's like people are wanting things. It's almost like wanting to be famous. But then you think you still gonna have a social life and be able to go and do this and that. No. There comes sacrifices. You know what I mean?
A trophy wife is exactly that. They put them on the shelf and then they forget about it. Like you ain't going nowhere. I just know when I open up that door, you better be right there. You know what I'm saying?
And the moment you're not delivering, your ass is getting replaced, because there's a million other women that want to get taken care of.
Yeah.
Or when you get old and you ain't a trophy no more, So I don't think women got a lot of audacity. I think when it comes to that, like they think they just gonna get that position and be like, I'm winning. No, you're a product. To me, you're like a product, a possession at that point.
Exactly.
Unless you're bringing something.
Yeah, like that's how I feel. That's why I said like, yo, I gotta be your dream. Like I gotta be the reason why you wake up in the morning and make breakfast and dinner and lunch and vacuum and laundry. But I never wanted to be nobody's anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like I want you to live your life, and I want to live my life. I want to have the freedom to do what I want to do. You should have the freedom to do what you want to do. But it just so happens to where the things that we like to do align.
Yeah.
And like we just so happen like talking about the same things, doing the same things, to where it's like, okay, mentally we look at situations the same way and we will handle it similar, to where it's like, okay, like you are somebody I want to be with. You're somebody I want to experience life with.
Yeah, or just like compliment each other too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Even if it's, in my experience, seeing people like maybe the man's a hothead, you know what I mean? And he want to do this and do that, but then that woman is more the person that brings him down. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's even like I've had times where I was like man, if I'd been out with my boys and they got girlfriends and shit, and then here it comes, it's getting late. Oh man, I gotta go. Or the girl be like, all right, come on, this is time to go, this and that. And then it's like, oh man, I peep how like maybe some men will be like, man, I ain't about to, if I want to stay out, I'm gonna stay out. But I see how that works because that woman is keeping this fool kind of in check, not even in check, but like out of some bullshit. When it's like, here I am, I ain't got nobody to go home to where I'm out. I'm staying out to the next day. And it's like, I understand there is a purpose for having that person in your life. You know what I mean? So it's like, I guess finding that person or finding somebody that you give a shit enough about to even want to like leave and go home with them, or and just do those certain things for them, you know?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, any final thoughts, man? Any final thoughts?
Man.
I know my hip over here hurting, so I know it's coming up on the time.
Yeah. Nah, man.
We covered some good shit, though, for real.
Definitely, bro. You know, this is regular for us, man.
Yeah, I know. Man, and that's why I did this, bro, because I'm like, bro, I be having some dope-ass conversations with people, man. I just want people to, like, to hear it. So sometimes you never know what'll come up, man. But, yeah, we'll have to do this again, for sure.
That's good.
We'll have to do it again. Oh, shit, let me get my little thing. Let me see, I don't even know how. Ooh, that's how I know, bro. I be showing my age on here, bro. I kind of do it on purpose because that's how I know the time is up. We out, man. We out.
Yeah.